Okay, all right. So we start. I'll humbly request fellow panelists to keep their audios off, and we look forward to wonderful interactions going forward. There's slight background disturbance which is coming. Request fellow panelists to kindly turn themselves off. Right, so we're good to go, Anu?
Parminder,
Yes, we are
just a
live.
small thing. In the internal group, there is a small message sent across. Might need to take a look at the flow that has been little updated.
Okay, no problem. We'll carry on with the flow. So since the recording is on, we connected. Let's start. Shall we start? I think we are on. Let's go. Let's start with the program. Thank you so much, Anu. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this virtual session. I am Parminder Jeet Kaur, Director SHM, and it's indeed an honor and privilege to welcome you all to this forum being organized in partnership with the SCLA, Supply Chain and Logistic Agreement, and our supporting partner, the Air Cargo Agents Association of India, ACAI. And of course, it's an opportunity to welcome and thank all our mentors who have been giving us the guidance and our media partners. There is a slight disturbance coming from my fellow panelists. I will humbly request that please keep your audience off. Please. Thank you so much. Now, when we talk of industrial activities or the opportunities for business, the logistics certainly comes to play a critical role. Transportation, infrastructure, and all interallied verticals are critical service of the modern day world. And when we look at our region, most of the northeastern states are currently growing in double digit with enormous potential to expand in the area as diverse as organic food to renewable energy. The region is certainly a vantage entry for the Southeast Asian market. The resource-rich Northeast, with its expanses of fertile farmland and a huge talent pool, can turn into India's most prosperous region. However, somewhere we feel the potential of the region has not been fully utilized. In the recent years, of course, there has been a push to increase the connectivity and networking of the region in terms of a new corridor, increased network and air connectivity, improved road infrastructure. However, as partners and as industry members, we feel that there is some more need which is required in terms of policy framework, in terms of development of the region. The connectivity between the Northeast region and Bangladesh is also much talked about in the trade fraternity, and what a way for us to have this initiative where we know that in the month of September, just at the very beginning, we witnessed a history when the Indo-Bangladesh inland waterways route was tested and consignment moved from Bangladesh to Tripura. The utilizations of river as the link by developing the waterway system is being widely appreciated. The region's economic prospects can be augmented by a number of measures across different areas, of which trade, logistic, e-commerce, supply chain, transportation, and border infrastructure certainly requires a mention. The advanced logistic can certainly enhance the ability of the industrial activities ranging from agriculture to food processing and everything else. And with this purpose, we have set up this agenda. Supply Chain Logistic Agglomerate SELSA Chairperson Mrs. Anamika Sinha is there with us. She is going to take forward and share the keynote address and share the aim and objective of the SCLA. We shall also be joined by Mr. Jaideep Raha, President Northeast for SCLA. To have state perspective, we will have Mr. H.K. Sharma, IAS Secretary Industries, Government of Sikkim. We shall have Mr. Hage Taki, IAS Secretary Industry from the Government of Arunachal Pradesh. We will have Mr. Kerwar Kevichusa, Secretary Industries, Government of Nagaland. And of course, we will have Mr. K.K. Dwivedi, IAS Secretary Industry, Government of Assam, who has been very instrumental in supporting industry in the region. especially in SM. From Delhi, we shall be joined in by Ms. Vandana Agarwal, IAS Senior Economic Advisor, Ministry of Civil Aviation, and we shall be joined by Comrade Ghulam Sadiq, Chairman, Bangladesh Inland Water Transport Association, and to accompany him, we also have Mr. Shashi Bhushan Shukla, Member Traffic and Logistic Inland Water Ways from India. Mr. Shukla has been very strongly supporting the inland waterways efforts in the northeastern region, and what a opportunity for all of us that we have both Bangladesh and India talking about the inland waterways opportunities today. Among our partner chambers, we shall also have Mr. Sujit Roy, General Secretary from Tripura chapter of IBCCI, and Mr. Banerjee shall be representing ANZ India Business Chamber. Sorry. Before I just go on, I would once again welcome you all. And may I share the program shall have keynote addresses by our partners, shall have the perspective from the government, and we shall have discussions with our industry members. With this, now I would request Ms. Anamika Sinha, Chairperson SCLA, to kindly share her address with all of us. Over to you, Ms. Sinha.
Thank you, Parminder. That was indeed a good insight given already before, at the start. I again take this opportunity to welcome all the eminent guests from the all the industry eminence, the governments, representatives out here from the different states that we have. I personally again welcome Mr. H.K. Sharma, Mr. Hagitaki, Mr. K.V. Shukla, and Mr. Dwivedi. Welcome, please. Of course, Ms. Vanna Agarwal, much looked up to, and Mr. Sadiq from the BIFTA organization. Mr. Shiv Salam is definitely a much looked up person in the industry and everywhere, who has really worked hard for the logistics industry. And Mr. Sundar Ahiwar from the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Then our special welcome to Mr. Pavan Agarwal and Mr. Shashi Bhushan Shukla sir, who are really taking a great effort in the bringing out all the positive changes towards the benefit of the vertical. I would start with the introduction of and I would share my presentation about the SCLA. What are the aims and how are we taking forward? What is the summit? What is the purpose behind? Who all would benefit about it? And what is the aim and objective about this effort that has been taken up by SCLA? So,
yeah, now it's visible, madam.
Okay, wonderful. So, okay, so for the, what is SCLA? So standing for Supply Chain and Logistics Agglomerate, I hereby present a small organization overview. So the SCLA comes up with the objective as a confederation. Just give me a minute. So founded with the objective to ensure that the concerns and the growth of the supply chain and the logistics industry is achieved in continuous and in directional thrust. The recent upheaval that has happened because of the COVID scenario, the small sales sector getting impacted, and even the corporate giants getting impacted, had to be worked upon. So all this efforts, with all the efforts continuously going on from the government, from the different segments, this is another effort with little direction to it, which I'll be sharing as I proceed with the presentation. So how do we achieve that first? We achieve that with the right team of experts. So the experience and the veteran from the industry, they come together and drive the much needed solution in high coordination with the government agenda. The more connected the logistics, the concept behind is that the more connected the logistics segments would become, the more easier and achievable would be the solutions to the industry challenges, both the known and the sudden recent emerged. And what is the difference that we can create and how additionally we can take it out? What are the critical deliverables? So we are not working out because that's not possible in a certain or a small scope of time. We take up as the understanding that the EXIM, the logistics and the EXIM growth and challenges are to be looked into hand in hand. One setting up correct and the other having the disturbance would not help the economy move forward in a smooth manner. So SCLA aims to attend a focused agenda, as in a specific industry challenge, lash through to drive the solution to the end point. And this webinar is one among such efforts. I am very pleased and honored and privileged to introduce to the team of SCLA who've taken up the responsibility alongside Mr. N. Shiv Selam, who has been the immediate past Special Secretary Logistics and has taken immense effort in the direction of betterment of the industry and the vertical. We honored to have him as patron for SCLA. Then, of course, myself taking the responsibility, and Mr. Jaideep Raha, President Northeast SCLA, Mr. Sunil Arora, expert in the air, so he's taken up for the air segment. Mr. Vivek Kele, President for the ocean segment, he is well known for the consolidations and other business on the ocean aspect. Mr. Anil Devli, he's handling the shipping aspect of the SCLA. And Mr. Ramesh Agarwal, already well known into the segment for roads and highways also, and especially who has invested much in the warehousing segment, who has much experience to share with the trade beforehand, giving signals and signs of how could we better into the investment in this line. Mr. Mahinder Arya, again from as President for Roads and Highways, sharing the responsibility hand to hand, Mr. Pradeep Singhal, Mr. Anil Malhotra, who's into freight forwarding, and of course the R&D required. ITWA has done much R&D, and Mr. Abhishek is an expert about this industry, historical reference, and the future growth that could help. He handles the R&D's department for the roads and highways. So what is the vision behind? As Confederation, the aim is to bring high-scale synchronization and research towards the industry, industry-debated and derived solutions, and suggested policy recommendations to help stakeholders take a transforming restructuring, which is required and felt lately, with respect to the operations and the resource allocation, to design the new growth patterns and secure sustainability, and hence rise to the changed times or the new normals that are required. We align much with the understanding that when we have to revive, we need to take responsibility on our own shoulders. So with the Atmanirbhar logistics understanding, in the true realization of the spirit of self-dependent vertical, the Northeast project has been endeavored. SCLA takes, in essence, would do its utmost to enable the creation of business opportunities and hence the revival. The Northeast agenda is designed such that policies are made to be more understandable and approachable to the intended India private sector and international corporate, and how the logistics vertical would bring it to be realistically achievable. So the webinar now. Northeast, the new business opportunities that can be looked into, that it holds already, and how logistics will come forward to make it achievable. What do we look from the outcome from this series or the summit that we're going to take forward? Towards one agenda taken up as the Northeast development support from what government is doing, how can we align and be a part and as an extended hand with the whole industry coming together. So we would be looking into aspects of enabling which northeastern region holds itself as business opportunities in the agriculture sector or the different sectors, which my team and my colleague Mr. Jetty would share up more in depth and has been shared by Parminder Roy as well. And how do we connect the northeastern region to the pan India and the exam of the region itself. So the neighbor and secondly to connect to the neighborhood logistics connect. We are happy and much honored to have the representation from the neighboring guests that we have from Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Australia representations. So to the end, what is looked forward is how do we create the end-to-end logistic connectivity, how we have the interested stakeholders meet, which may be looked up next. So when the industry of the OEMs would come together, the logistics industry will be coming together hand in hand. I'm sure the result would mean greater business for all concerned and all stakeholders. We would be doing the utmost to have an assessment of the industry needs against the targets, the SWOT analysis. It is an ongoing process which we would be submitting as observations, as analysis, and seeing how the best solutions could be suggested for government and sought their support. If we have added agendas from the government side, we would be pleased to take it forward and see how could be implemented ground to the line. With this, I end up my submission and I request Mr. Jaideep Rao to take over from here on. Mr. Jaideep, I would welcome you to take it up, please.
Mr. Raha, request you to kindly unmute yourself, please. Mr. Raha, request you to unmute yourself.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. I welcome you all on behalf of ACLA and ASSOCHAM in this webinar. This is basically focused on Northeast, and I welcome all our distinguished panelists, guests, and the distinguished speakers here. And this webinar is basically focused on Northeast, because Northwest has been neglected far too long all this while, and it's a time has come that we also look into this area, because this area has a tremendous potential. It has got a potential which can develop our India's GDP growth. If we are looking at increasing our GDP growth, we all know the GDP growth with this recent pandemic has gone down drastically. But the good sign, the silver lining is that if we concentrate on Northeast, and if we can develop Northeast, our GDP can go up as high as 9 plus, if not more. Now, there's something which I would like to share a small, presentation about Northeast, which will possibly give you the idea about the potential of Northeast, the lacuna of Northeast, and way forward, and how we can do to develop this area. So I would like to place this presentation to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Please, may I request Manesh to put the presentation, please. Next. So it's a home to 45 million people, surrounded by 5,300 kilometers of international border, could easily be portal of East. Given its geographic position, the richness of the resources, and increasing focus on engaging with the East, the region could very well become the new growth engine of our country. As I said very earlier, also the same thing that it will increase our GDP growth. In the previous century, the Northeast was the forefront of economic and social development. Let me end here, ladies and gentlemen, that uh, post pre-independence and even after independence till about 54 or till about 60s, the GDP of Northeast was more than the GDP of the rest of India. So that is something that we have to revive back and make it happen. That is why today's this webinar is all about, that how we can all contribute and how logistic plays a very important role in developing Northeast its business activities. In the previous century, the Northeast was, as I said, forefront. The region was a net foreign exchange earner and had a per capita income higher than the national average, as I said earlier. Manesh, next. So there has been a seamless border with Bangladesh, Bhutan, Burma, and the riverine overland routes ensures this region is emerging as a major hub of activities. After partition in 1947, the region was virtually sealed off due to political reason. And the narrowness of this 22-kilometer link of the mainland proved to be as one of the development areas, and the long international border for over 5,300 kilometers is something which I think is need to be seen. And with Myanmar, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Thailand, and China can turn an advantage for this region. See, let me tell you, when I am naming these neighboring countries, we have a direct road and riverine routes into it, and also, the air links. Now, if we just take as a compass, and put it in the center, the Northeast at the center, say Assam in the Guwahati in the center, and just turn around this as like taking a compass, you will see that we have a flying region and the time which is about 2,500 kilometer radius. The entire ASEAN region can be covered, which means within a flying time of well within 2 hours, which is not the case when the Northeast would be have to be connected on a air routes into Mumbai or Ahmedabad or to Bangalore or to even Chennai. They are beyond 3 hours, flying time. So look at the advantage that we have. You can reach Thailand in 1.5 hours time. You can reach Vietnam in 1.5 hours time. You can reach Singapore in 2.5 hours time. You can Burma in a less than an hour's time. You can Bhutan in even less than that. So just look at the natural geographical locational advantage this Northeast has. Now, I'm coming up with the next slide. Manesh, please put on the next slide. Yes. The Northeast is constantly evolving and staging on the verge of $1 trillion economy. This is what we have to focus on. We have to focus on the new areas. We all know Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, they're all developed cities. They're already developed and bursting as the scene. Even the Delhi and Mumbai airport, Bangalore airport, there is a slot constraint of the aircraft coming and landing. But whereas look at in Northeast, we have enough slot space and we can develop our airports and other river ports to the best of my knowledge, that they can be one of the world-class ports, and the airports can be made out here. There's no dearth of quality people, no dearth of educated people, no dearth of labor. Labor is cheap. Northeast economic linkage can accelerate by the numbers of the measures. The attention needed is trade logistics, e-commerce, supply chain, connectivity and border logistics infrastructure. Now that is very important. The connectivity with the border logistics information. The border logistics, if we are talking about the cross country and third country trading, like you see, look at it, Europe. If I take Europe, see, it's basically connectivity of the border logistics which make Europe a global power in the business world. That's the reason. Now, I will go to something which is, one has to look at it. Now, if I'm talking about that, we try and make Northeast into a hub, engineering hub, on a heavy industry hub. Well, that is possible again. Nothing is impossible. As I always tell all my colleagues and friends that even impossible says I am impossible. So nothing is impossible. But yes, you will have to give time. You cannot have overnight things overnight created a big industrial hub there. But what you can do it immediately. We need to address the situation immediately. As right at the beginning, I said the Northeast has been neglected far too long, so we don't have a time. And time is the essence. I've been a logistic person. I have been told that time is something which you buy to others, to the buyer and the seller. That's what I buy them. I give them that. And that is what is most precious today. What is most precious is time. Now, what do we have? We have a low hanging fruits. Let us catch on that. And what is that? That is the agriculture, horticulture, floriculture, processed food, and these are the basic thing. And we can add on to the pharmaceuticals there. The pharmaceutical pharma companies can come in. Why? Because Assam produces the best quality of turmeric. The main ingredient of the turmeric is a curcumin. That is the main ingredient for anti-cancer drugs. Just look at it. We have something which the world needs, and that is abundant, and that is of the best quality. What else do you require to build up a pharma companies? They need herbs abundantly available. They need clean water abundantly available. Northeast as a whole, plenty of rivers. The biggest one of them is the Brahmaputra River, and the host of other tributaries and distributaries of Brahmaputra is there. So we have water connectivity. We have airport connectivity right now. All we need to do is develop the airport connectivity. That I'm sure this Ministry of Civil Aviation is working upon it very thing, and I-Class is working on it. When Keku comes on board here at 1:30, he is going to talk about that, so I will not touch that. So the new value chain opportunities in the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, or Indo-Bangladesh Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, IBCEAPA, are also expected to emerge. Look at this, an opportunity I am talking about. These two are the biggest thing, because regionally we have to look beyond the circle. We have to look beyond out of the box, because we can't just confine ourselves, because India is poised. It is now that we all know, we all see, we read newspapers, and we all see news, follow TV channels, news channels, and you know what the government is doing internationally. Today we are reckoned as a power, as a superpower we are reckoned with. So very soon we are the people. We have to look forward that we are the people who have to take on. Because when we talk about in our trade, the multinationals, so a company from Germany, a company from USA, company from China, company from Japan, company from UK, company from UAE or Middle East, or France, Europe, all these people are multinational companies. How many Indian companies are there in multinationals? You can count them. Why can't we? Let's look beyond India now. A time has come that we should look beyond India. And we have the strength, we have the capacity, we have the knowledge, we have the technology, we have everything. Today, India is the cheapest, labor available. The transportation cost is the cheapest compared to the Europe or USA. So we have it all. All we need to do is put everything together. And that's what the industry, the logistics, the ministry should come together and form a good team and just win the World Cup. Manish, next. Next slide, please. Yeah. So cross-border supply chains, modernization of the cross-border supply chains to unlock the value, create a business opportunity to be done jointly. Need of integrated supply chain system, synchronization of expansion of e-commerce. Now this is very important, e-commerce. E-commerce is the end thing today. This is something which in this COVID, it kept the whole machinery going of people. So it has got a very important role to play. So we need to look into that. And in order to do that, we need to develop the logistic infrastructure. A little bit touch up is required. It's there already. The basic is there. The main base is there already. Northeast states should undertake drastic reforms in labor and land regulations. Now that is something which issue where I'm sure our speaker from the respected government department will elaborate. So I will not like to touch upon that. So with disappearing border barriers, expansion of the existing units benefit the scale of economy. Makes sense when RCEP and other and IBCABAT beg your pardon, come in effect. This requires the Northeast Industrial Development Scheme, NEIDS 2017. It is designed to facilitate new investment in this region. See, we are already there, as I said. Things are already there. It just need a push. It just need a push. And that's the basic motto of today's webinar, ladies and gentlemen. Manesh, next. Next slide, please. Intra-country international air connectivity from Northeast India. Today, the airlines connected Northeast India with the rest of India, directly connected with air with major Indian cities. You have a Bangkok connectivity, you have Hong Kong connectivity from behind airport, and Guwahati connectivities, and air services need between the Imphal and Myanmar and other growth areas and wellness tourism. Northeast is likely to start soon the maiden flight from Imphal to Mandalay and Agartala to Dhaka. See, this is something that we need to push. Now, when I talk about this air services needs to start, they need to also have cargo volumes with them, just not passengers. This is where, we as a logistic player, we as an SCLA, as an organization, as ASOCHM as an organization, we play a very critical role to have sync with the ministry, to work together, to give our proposals, to give the ideas that we are the foot soldiers. We are the foot soldiers, and these foot soldiers will deliver. And that is what it is, that we will tell you this is where we can conquer. This is where we would like to go. This is the battle we have won. This is the war we are going to win. So that's what it is. The international connectivity is very important from this. This is a huge area. This is an untouched area. It's a virgin area. And being neglected, I would like to retaliate that being neglected for so long, the Northeast, and it was plagued by insurgencies, So obviously the industrial development did not take place. Now, that is a scourge. At the same time, it was a blessing in disguise also. I would look at it, you have to make negative into positives. I will say that's a blessing in disguise that we had that. Because today, we have a natural organic region of the world. Sikkim, we all know that Sikkim is a 100% organic state. And the rest of the Northeast, the Seven Sisters, 75% of the land area, the agricultural land area, the farming land area are naturally organic. Now that's a blessing in disguise and a boom for us. We just come in. We all know, ladies and gentlemen, that the price of a conventional fruit or vegetable produced in a conventional method with a with the conventional agricultural technology and the fertilizers that is used, the inorganic fertilizer that is used to produce, fruits and vegetables and horticultural produce. If that fetches $1 to a unit in the overseas market, and organic fetches $9 to a unit in the global market. Now look at the difference. Look at the yield difference. And we have that a huge area. I mean, needless to say that. So why not capitalize on that? We have not gone in there. Today, the basic reason for us inviting ANZ, IBC, ANZ India Business Center today here, Aprajita is here. The basic reason is that we would like to be put an exposure, screen ourselves across the globe, because New Zealand, Australia, Singapore are a big consumable market. They have an advanced technology. We can offer ourselves, our products there, our produce there, and in turn, we can take a lot of technological back systems from there, because they have an advanced technology on packaging of fruits and fruit products and vegetables. They have a advanced technology of storage system. They have advanced technology of backhouse module, the cold chain module, and all these things we can exchange. We can have their investments out here, put up in an investment in Northeast. Maybe a cold chain operator can come in and operate its cold chain activity in entire Northeast. So that will give, and if there is a technology support, that okay, you are making something, you just tweak it, just process it in this way, and it will be much better. It will be acceptable in the countries like Europe and US, where many of our fruit products are not acceptable, maybe because of certain chemicals being used. That is, that we can learn from them, and in turn, they know that we are producing the best of the qualities, and it's organic. So here it's a win-win situation for us, and I think ANZ Business will do a great thing on this. And we want to forge ahead with our relationship more stronger with them and work forward towards the development of the Northeast. Next slide, please. See, Sikkim government this is a suggestion that the Sikkim government may consider introducing online permit to arrival permit at the entry points. So that is something which will help foreign people to come in and explore, see what it is, and then go back to their respective country and say, hey, this is a country, this is a place I've been, and they have some so unique things to offer. That is why we showcase our products globally. The tourism will build a commercial activity. They come here as a tourist, go back as a business associates, and send back the orders to us. Nothing can be better. You basically kill two birds with one stone. So we all know the Pakyong airport in Sikkim and Tezu airport in Arunachal. Yet it's not to be fully utilized due to technical reasons. So we need to work on that. My humble submission and request to Ministry of Civil Aviation, Vandanaji, that madam, you just look into that, and so that this can be developed, and that the entire region can be benefited from there. Imphal, Guwahati, Bagdogra airports should be expanded, accommodate international flights. Other northeastern region, the airports such as Agartala, Aizawl, Shillong also need a capacity addition and more domestic flights. I have some of the aviation experts out here and the airlines operators here who would agree with me that some of them, like SpiceJet, have started freighter operation in this area. We are really grateful from our industry that Spice has it. Blue Dart has started it long back, and they have been operating on and off. And well, of course, charter flights have been operating. Not too many years. Yesterday, I was talking to Captain Khanna, of Blue Dart yesterday night. And I said a few years back when he flew a charter freighter from during this pandemic, I understand, from China to Guwahati, and he landed at 10 o'clock at night. I said few years back, Guwahati airport was a sundown airport. After sundown, no aircraft would land because the night landing facilities were not there. Now just think of it. Today he lands his freighter aircraft. I guess it is a 757B, Captain Khanna. That's with a 24-ton capacity, 40-ton, 30-ton capacity, full load, landing at 10 o'clock at night is something which we never thought of earlier. So that's the development that is taking place already there. We just need to a little bit more push. We are already there. The platform is there. From there, we need to go on. Next, please. The railway connectivities in the Northeast has progressed well. The Northeastern state are getting connected by rail, which we all know it. It's nothing, I am saying something which you do not know. You all know it. We see it in news. We are seeing it. Agartala, Silchar are having broad gauge road. There is a new connectivity. Recently, only yesterday, it was inaugurated connectivity in Saraighat to Bihar in Patna. So these are the development that is taking place. Our government is really working very hard, and I'm really, it's very nice to see that such a speed that we are working. The government is working. That at times we used to feel that we from the private, sectors, that we are the people who work overnight and we work faster, and the governments are slow. But now the table has changed. We are panting for breath to catch up with them. Trust me, we are panting for breath to catch up with the speed of the government of India. That the way the bureaucrats, the way this secretary levels, the way the ministers, and other state ministers are working of this government is phenomenal, and it's worth applauding. Hats off. Now that's what we need. We have it all. We have a very dynamic team. We have dynamism to the core, and we are inching towards. I mean, every day there's some achievement is taking place, which I've never seen it in many years from now. That every day there is some sort of a new thing coming up. Some new achievement is been taking place. As okay, this has been inaugurated. This has been started. This is the new law. This is something which has been done. So things are improving by the hour, I would say. The Indian Railways have now come up with the various freight corridor movement, the high-speed trains, which has come up. We recently know that there has been a tunnel in the Leh straight up there, which is called Atal Tunnel. So these are something which we never thought of to connect Ladakh. So just imagine. So coming back to this way, the railway link from Sabroom is a vital in the development for the state of Tripura and linking with Chittagong port. This is very, very critical and very crucial for a development of Northeast. We must look this. Take the business opportunities the Bangladesh has. They have certain capacity constraint. Let us help them. We are good neighbors. Let us help them. And in turn, we both develop. We hold our hands each other like a good friends and work together for it. So, I mean, these are the things which is coming up in the intra-country connectivity through rail. So look at the importance of the Northeast. How strategically this area is placed. I mean, it's a God gift. Let me tell you that. Next slide, please. Well, railway link line and then to Imphal started completing in 2000, will be completed in 2020. It would be an extended to Moreh and then to Jammu and Kale in Myanmar. Assam government has also mooted the proposal to reopen the railway links with Bangladesh, for example, Chittagong Bazaar, and to Lido in Golokganj and Moirabadi. The rail come road bridge in Bogeyville is a breakthrough. North bank of Brahmaputra with the south bank of Dibrugarh has opened up, but the supply does not match the demand in the railways. So we need to do that. Electrification on railway tracks and introduction of the high-speed trains are the next step forward, which I have already said. The drastic reforms are a must in Northeast frontier railways, headquarter of the custodian of railways in the Northeast. So these are something which we all need to work together for it. Next slide, please. Railway connectivity with Bangladesh will be a game changer. Like Europe has this Eurorail. Entire Europe is connected with train. People seldom take flights from, say, Brussels to Frankfurt. If it is not sure, very urgent that they need to reach, and go the same day and come back the same day, attend a meeting and come back. Otherwise, it's generally by the train they travel, and the train is the most used mode of transport in the entire Europe, and the connectivity through the trains is what makes Europe today what it is. The Agartala, so we need to benchmark some good things of others and put them as per the perspective, as per the ground realities of India. It's not that what you see in Europe or US that we can just replicate out here. No, we need to see our ground realities, because there are certain ground realities we need to consider and do whatever is best possible and implement in and incorporated those things that can make it work for all of us. Once Agartala and Agura railway line is completed in the thing, the Calcutta will reduce to 10 hours from 31 hours. Look at the advantage. Calcutta is a big gateway. Now, if I reduce from 10 hours, which means it's an overnight, I can connect. There will not be a space constraint. This railway line will be a game changer. Today, everything is by air into Agartala. Why? Because the connectivity, surface connectivity is a problem. We need to cut that chicken neck and make through way. We save time. That is what we need to look into it. My humble request and my submission to our friends from Bangladesh, that let us work together. I have very good friend, Mr. Kabir Ahmed here, as one of the speakers from Bangladesh, BAFA, the president of BAFA, and we have already discussed this in one of our last meeting in a webinar also, that we will work together to develop this route to and fro. Even today, I got a WhatsApp message from my Bangladesh friends that they want charter operations out via Calcutta. Now see, look at this. This is what we need to do. We formed a SARC region, and we need to develop this cooperation and much more. So India, Bangladesh currently have 4 operational rail links between West Bengal and Western Bangladesh, Petrapol, Benapol, Gede, Darshana, Radhikapur, Viral, and Singhabad and Rohanpur, of which Radhikapur, Viral, and Singapore, Rohanpur are also notified to use of Nepalese transit traffic. So now look at this, 3 countries, 1 railway link. This is something which is beyond comprehensions. Let me tell you, this is the real logistics. This is real logistics, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we cannot have anything better than this. 3 countries, 3 SAARC nations, 3 neighboring countries connected together. And if these connectivity we have, the neighboring connectivity we can develop on this neighboring connectivity, time is not I mean, we will in our own lifetime will see that, you know, we are considered bigger, more powerful, and much more with a business volume than Europe, perhaps all of Europe, because we have so much of potential. Next slide, please. The road transport is a dominant mode of transportation in the Northeast. Now, that is why I have invited, I mean, I'm sorry, uh, we have invited here a very old and a very pioneer in bonded trucking surface operator, Mrs. Oscar, Mr. KG Thomas is here amongst us. Thank you, KG, as I very fondly call him, for being here. He will explain how the bonded trucking will impact and will develop and contribute to exim industry of Northeast. Say, for example, between Shillong and Guwahati, the time one would take by road is about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, depending on the what do you call on the traffic system on the thing on the Guwahati Shillong road, the GS road famously called. Now the Shillong and Guwahati, if it's connected by as we know that the Doki is one of the another port there in Meghalaya, and we have a connectivity of surface bonded trucking and connects from there into Guwahati airport, is something where I save on time, money, and I can move shipments more efficiently and connect out of Guwahati into wherever I want to. So look at the advantage of it. Now, we have in the last 3 to 4 years, several road connectivities projects have undergone, you know, I mean, you can all see it. By 2023, almost 80 to 90% of the road connectivity will be there, and it will be completed. So, Imphal, Moreh, and proposed alternative routes, 4-way lane till Moreh, connectivity of Northeast with the neighboring countries would improve. That's again, I don't need to repeat it over and over again. The Northeastern needs a seamless road connectivity between Guwahati and the border towns such as Moreh in Manipur, Doki, as I said, in Meghalaya. And in present scenario, the journey from Imphal to Guwahati takes about 12 hours. With many sections of the road being in bad condition, similarly, the Imphal Silchar road should be widened and made accessible in all weather conditions. That's very important. That we reduce that time, that transit time. So, my humble request again would be to the minister, to the ministry, is that, sir, madam, please look into the development of the infrastructure. Give us the infrastructure, the logistic infrastructure, and we are there to serve our brothers and sisters in Northeast. We will do it. The rest of India will jump there. Next.
Thank you, Terry. That was really a very detailed presentation by you, and exceptionally good and very useful for many of the attendees who are looking into setting up their businesses into Northeast or connecting their existing businesses with Northeast. To begin with, before we go further detailed into the logistics and the various sectors, once again, we will start the conversation with the experts here. We have privilege of having industry secretaries with us. So let's have some perspective secretaries to understand the kind of infrastructure or the industry development the states are looking at, and then we come back to the logistic needs of that. So if I may invite Mr. H.K. Sharma, Secretary Industries, Government of Sikkim. Sir, if you can kindly just share what Sikkim government is thinking in terms of supporting the industry, in terms of developing the infrastructure, so that we can be the partner of the state in taking forward the agenda of overall development of the state and the region, sir. Over to Mr. Sharma, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are, sir.
Good afternoon. I am S.K. Sharma, Secretary, Commerce and Industries, Government of Sikkim. Very warm greeting from Sikkim, and thanks giving this forum for discussions. And Sikkim, as you know, is a landlocked area, and there is only one national highway, that is NS10, that links Sikkim with the rest of the country. And in especially in the rainy season, you know, it sometimes blocks and we will be cut off from the mainstream. This is the main problem of. And second is Sikkim is an organic state, as you were mentioning. It's only the organic state in India. And second is I would like to say Sikkim is a very peaceful state. You know it very well. There is no any kind of insurgency and any kind of problems in Sikkim. I humbly suggest one thing, that pan-India programs is not suitable for the Himalayas areas, particularly northeastern regions, because I think topography-wise and in all many respects we differ with the rest of the country. So for northeastern region, separate planning and programs should be made by the government. This is my humble request. And Nathula trade with China is already there. You know it very well. Which are suspended just due to this COVID-19 pandemic. And then that he was rightly mentioning that in issues it is suspended till the 10th of October. After that, it will be available online inner line permit for the tourists from the outside country. So rest, I would like to share some of the potential area where investment is really fruitful in Sikkim. That is first and foremost is tourism and hospitality. Sikkim is really a destination from both sides, in investor side as well as from the tourist side. It's a very naturally beautiful state. Still, there are certain areas which are margin. So these are the areas where investors can invest in Sikkim. Second is the IT sector, because Sikkim doesn't have sufficient land for industrial growth, and it's a terrain hills. Many of you might have visited Sikkim. So that way we support the IT sectors. And third is handlooms and handicrafts. The traditional handlooms and handicrafts of Sikkim is very um, uh, beautiful, unique, and it has a wide demand across the country as well as outside the country. So it has a scope value addition, packaging, and marketing. And third is the horticulture and value additions on horticulture produce. There are certain things which are very much available in Sikkim, like cardamom, like this we call it that red chili, dalle kursani. So these are all the things where value addition is needed, and rest it depends upon uh, the investors to come and discuss and see the locality here, because Sikkim is, as I said already, it is a terrain hills, mountains and forest and snowy Himalayas. So considering all these aspects, I think investors should come to Sikkim and see, and accordingly they can plan for investment in Sikkim. With this, I would like to conclude my short informations regarding Sikkim. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your valuable input, especially with regard to the spices. And if I may use this opportunity to share that SHM did a study focusing on the spices of India, and then Sikkim was certainly a key sector where the statistics were picked up, and we shared the details. And with regard to other initiatives which you are saying, we are working on yet another study with NABARD. So hopefully we would have some inputs from there to share with you. And I'm sure during the day's discussion, our logistic experts who are there who have made note of the points which you have brought in, would really try to see how best logistics can support to this two key sectors, horticulture and agriculture, especially that Sikkim is an organic state and there's so much of demand of Sikkim product. So how best logistics can support these industries, that's something we will discuss as we move forward. Thank you so much, sir, for your initial inputs. And now I will move to Arunachal, and we have Sri Hagitari ji with us, and I would request sir to kindly share. Arunachal is a lovely state, and there's a lot of development which is happening in the recent time, a lot of entrepreneurship development support which is giving, and in fact Arunachal is targeting to be doubling its cardamom growth in next 5 to 6 years. I had the opportunity of speaking to agriculture minister sir, and that's where he shared this with us. So Hagitari sir, we would like to have your input, please.
Hello.
Yes sir, you are audible sir. Yes.
Thank you. Very good afternoon. First of all, congratulations to the SL organizing this kind of great, which is kind of seminars, webinars, and also I'd like to thanks for giving me this opportunity to participate. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Allow me to participate. First of all, Arunachal Pradesh is concerned. I would like to just highlight very briefly on the potential which you have for this kind of investors. To begin, as you know, Arunachal and which is surrounded by 3 international countries, east in the Myanmar, and west in the Bhutan, and also in the north in China. And also we have one of the vast potential area in Arunachal Pradesh, which is a beautiful greens and biodiversity we have got, and population of around 13 lakhs as per 2011 census. As so far as industrial growth and this logistics support is concerned, we have also a lot of development in place. Let us give me examples. The 2 most important things which have happened is that there are 2 important setup. The first bridge is that which so-called Bogeybill bridge, which is connected to 4.5 kilometers, and it has a lot of saving the times for the transportations to the Arunachal Pradesh from Assam, and also there's a bridge called Bhupen Hazarika Setu, one of the longest bridge, 9.5 kilometer, 9.5 kilometer, which is the connectivity for the entire Arunachal Pradesh, is a landmark which is being for the business investors. Now, apart from that, I am right now on the tour to just inspecting the industrial area in the place called Pasighat, where it is one of the beautiful city, where there are air connectivity, we have the rail connectivity, and we have also transport connectivity from here to Assam. Only Dibrugarh only, this is 1 hour journey. Now we have in potential in Arunachal Pradesh the place like, as you rightly mentioned, organic like turmeric, and we have got one of the longest the biggest potential in the kiwi, which in the producing in the Arunachal Pradesh, and we have the orange, and we have large number of those pharmaceuticals and which herbals. I have just now also visited some of them, and for the particularly for this industry. And apart from that, I'd also like to bring to your notice that we have taken a lot of measures. Under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, revolutionary we have reformation has been taken place. To begin with, the industrial of 2000 outline, and all taken measures for this reformation of labor laws. Various labor laws we have amended. We have also amended the Factory Act. We have also amended the industrial this in the line of make in India, in the so-called make in Arunachal, and Atmanirman and local for vocal. Now, just for information, ma'am, we have every 15th of the day of the month, all government employees and officers has to wear a local vocal on the own product. It is compulsorily government. It is officially is being ordered just to promote our Atmanirman. And also we have reduced most of these redundant and outlawed norms, and licensing is being simplified through doing ease of business. We have developed a portal, and which through we can many of these the so-called regulation is being reduced. And also we are promoting this lot of MSME, those unit, and also those SSG, those who are located in the state are being encouraged to set up more and more industries. Of course, we have also that the kind of which we have taken a measure is that one district, one product, which the Ministry of the Food Processing has told us to do. That is also on the we are on the under actions. So likewise, in the government of Arunachal Pradesh has taken a number of measures, and we have also connectivity with 8 district and 8 airport. Of course, although this is for civilian is not being fully authorized, but we have got 8 airport. Apart from that, Greenfield Airport is coming up in our capital Itanagar, which is on the in the schedule for 2022, and all these activities which is undergoing a revolutionary changes, and we are thinking to make the one of the hub. Each district we are promoting for the export hub, and likewise it is district reforms action plan is already on. So likewise we have taken a lot of measures for your informations, and I will be very glad is ASSOCHAM like this organization and which can contribute greatly. This the one of the landlocked country which can be connected to the rest of the and this India and rest of the world. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I would also request, and since I'm please give me a excuse for the in this I left to this place. With this, thank you so much for patient hearing and giving me this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your insight, and certainly with the senior leadership of SCLA here and with the Sunil Arora ji, President ACAI, we would certainly be today discussing up way forward of supporting everything from the logistic perspective. So thank you so much for giving your inputs to sir. Now we would move to Dr. KK Dwivedi. He is Secretary Industries, Assam. Sir, Assam is the nodal point when we talk of Northeast and the logistic, and the government of Assam has done taken several initiatives to support industry. There are industrial zones, there are industrial parks, there is an enhancement in connectivity, there are warehousing policy which is in place. There are a lot of support being given to the industry from the government of Assam. So we would like to have your views, sir. How do we take things forward from here? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, and good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I extend my thanks to ASSOCHAM for giving me this important platform to interact with the distinguished dignitaries. As you know, the Northeast region is in midst of great transformation today. After 7-decade-long neglect, I would say the region today finds a new ray of hope for growth and prosperity. As you know, that bringing a transformational change in policy to boost trade and commerce in the Northeast, Government of India enunciated the Act East policy, which has since then been an important catalyst for growth in this entire Northeast region. As a result of this policy shift, roadways, railways, airways, waterways, and highway have received a new focus in Northeast region in last 5-6 years. This is evident from the fact that in last 6 years, if you see the data, the National Highway Authority of India and the Border Road Organization have built over 2,700 kilometers of national highway across the 8 northeastern states between 2014 and 2019. Besides, construction of India-Myanmar Thailand trilateral highway is going on in right direction, and once become fully operational, this communication network will provide the land route through northeast to connect to Myanmar and onward to Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore. Sitwe port, which is being developed in Myanmar by India, will further provide sea route to northeast region through Mizoram. During last 6 years, several important road infrastructure projects, including India's longest rail-cum road, Bogibil Bridge, India's longest Dhola Sadia River Bridge, and new Saraighat Bridge were inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister. These projects have given a significant infrastructure boost to our region. In the meantime, Ministry of Road Transport and National Highway has further approved new bridges, new 5 bridges over River Brahmaputra in the state of Assam. You are aware that prior to India's independence, Assam had a multimodal connectivity network which existed through road, rail, and water. In fact, tea and petroleum products used to reach Chattogram and Kolkata ports through Brahmaputra, Padma, Meghna, riverine waterways, as well as through railway lines passing through present-day Bangladesh. This communication network immensely facilitated economic growth of this region. However, this traditional trade route got disrupted after India's independence, and this adversely affected the economic growth and development of this region. As per the Inland Water Authority of India, approximately 3 million ton cargo per annum can move through waterways. But now the government of India has undertaken various developmental initiatives to improve the navigability of the waterways for movement of large cargo vessels so that goods can be carried smoothly in a cost-effective manner, which would bring significant economic development in this region. Dredging of Barak River has already been completed, and dredging of Brahmaputra River is going to start shortly. Both the rivers will connect Chattogram and Mongla port in Bangladesh, which will facilitate easy movement of goods from northeast outward from northeast. Standard operating procedure has already been signed between India and Bangladesh. That has given a way forward and has made it easy for the vessels from northeast region to move to Calcutta as a shorter route waterway. On the airways front, Assam government has committed to rupees 100 crore viability gap funding support under Udan International Scheme to start direct flights between cities of ASEAN and BBN bloc countries. And considering the proximity of these cities to Guwahati, and we are expecting that 6 flights will start within this financial year, connecting the different capital of the countries of ASEAN and neighboring countries. Guwahati Airport is also on the way to become a global airport. New integrated terminal building at Guwahati Airport with project cost of about 900 crore is being developed to make it global airport to facilitate the international connectivity. One new airport at Rupsi is going to start. The building is ready and the route has already been allotted, and the flight is going to start from next month. And other airports like Silchar, Dibrugarh, other airports are also being upgraded in the state. We are establishing one air cargo terminal in Guwahati Airport, and we are expecting that within a month this will become a functional. I'm delighted to share with you that Assam government has already notified the state capital vision, and 160-kilometer long industrial corridor near Guwahati has been notified. Assam government has also signed an MOU with NBCC, and now we're going to construct a world-class trade center here in Guwahati. Moreover, the government of Bangladesh and Bhutan have already set up their consulate in Guwahati. We are in touch with other ASEAN countries if they can open their consulate office here to facilitate the easy movement of the people from one region to another region. In 2018, Assam government had organized Northeast India's first ever global investor summit at Guwahati, and the summit resulted in signing up over 250 MOUs with investment commitment of about 79,000 crore, and work of many such projects have already started. Apart from this, all Assam government has notified many industry-friendly policies, including policy on tax incentive for setting up industries and tourism units, IT policy, biotech policy, startup policy, sugar policy, solar energy policy, and so on. We have also announced a new MSME policy. Rather, now it is going to be notified as an act, so that the setting up industries is extremely user friendly and easy, and as per act, no permission is required to set up any industry for initial 3 years, and just one page self declaration will be sufficient to start any kind of industry in the state. Recently, we have launched the export and logistic policy. This policy aims to strengthen the logistic infrastructure of the state, like inland container depot, border trade center, common facility center, integrated cold chain, logistic park, river ports, and other material handling facilities. I'm happy to inform you that apart from the 50 industrial estates and industrial infrastructure that we are further going to develop international industrial park to provide world-class plug and play facilities for quick setting up industries in the state. Assam government has also decided, and tender has already been floated, and we are going to set up an multimodal logistic park at Jagigopa in Lower Assam. For this 200 acre of land has already been given to NHIDCL. The entire project cost is about 3,000 crore, and the first phase work is going to commence within a month. It is beyond doubt that the Northeast region has a huge potential for growth and development. World-class infrastructure, including logistics, are being developed and getting integrated with global and regional value chain. In such backdrop, I invite you all to explore the business opportunity in Assam and Northeast region, and we assure you very customized support to you in your any business endeavor. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you, Association, for giving me this opportunity to share my thought and discuss with the stakeholders and the business leaders in this region. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It's always an honor to listen to you, and I think every time we get an opportunity to listen to you, sir, we find that Assam has yet, added on another policy and made the business doing very easy. It is really, really very encouraging that just with one paper you can start the business, and especially the policy on the logistics which you are talking about the international industrial park. It will certainly help the entire region. The Bangladesh colleagues are here with us. It will be, I think, something worth making a note for them. Sir, we have the Inland Waterways Authority. Shukla sir is there with us. We will definitely be taking his view on navigability of the waterways and dredging, which has been mentioned. And the Udan flight, we have the experts. We have aviation experts out here. We will be discussing all those things in detail. I think it is right time to bring in our international partner here. We have Mr. Kabir Ahmed. He is representing BFFA Bangladesh. I would request Mr. Kabir Ahmed to share his perspective and his thoughts of enhancing the cooperation in the region, specifically from the aviation point of view, enhancing the logistic in the region so that it helps both the countries. Over to you, Mr. Ahmed.
Are you listening? Am I all right with the audio?
Yes, sir. You are audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to give my heartiest thanks to Association for organizing such an important event. And of course, I'd like to give thanks to the other inviting me and his personal effort to come to me today. Though I had been a lot of engagements today, but still, I had to do it once because it was his call. Actually, having his presentation, I was listening, trying to carefully. That he did not left anything for me to talk. And now I'm really lost from where I should start. And that today, when we're talking about the connectivity, the business, and if you go internet, everything is there. So how and what we talk, that's important here. See, I brief about my information and what I am thinking to enhance the connectivity between and to facilitate our business and to ease the, especially when we are talking about the logistic guys, what we think, whatever the BIWTA, customs, whoever, but we don't want any barrier in between. Don't put any obstacle for us. So that's what I would like to emphasize today, that our board talking about bordering, and we have to have sort out all the bureaucratic threads and smooth import and export in all our border as smooth as possible. That's very important because I don't want to. We all know the problems. So that is my request to our dearest counter. Actually, I don't know now these regulators are there or not. If they are, and I would also request. And in all my port and Mangla Port, Chittagong Port, being the president of Bangladesh Freight Port Association, I always emphasize on that issue. Clean up, let us try to ease our business and export and import policy, customs clearance, everything as possible. Forum, I'd like to make a proposal that I was thinking that when we're talking, if I notice that is the connectivity, that's very important. So I would Bangladesh, India, all the SAARC countries of like in the logistic monitor on it, then how we can smoothen the connectivity between Bangladesh, India countries. Because you see, this is and we talk a lot about Bangladesh, India, India, all the contracts and all this and our shipping ministry and our foreign ministry and national board of revenue, a lot of meetings I've been attending. But in reality, we're talking about the postal agreement or any kind of agreement which facilitate the transport. I think emphasis to be given who are actually working on it and who are really involved in this trade. So that's why I would request also Joydeep Bhai in listening, and he can take the lead that to create a forum so that we can closely and what we can do, we can put the recommendation to our regulators and to Indian regulators, Bangladesh or Myanmar or Sri Lanka or whoever, so that will be really good thing, and we can work with them very closely. And I was listening some of other speakers. Actually, I did not for that. So we have a focus, a program focus today, new business opportunities, pooling the resources. Actually, we know what are the business we are talking. And see, if we are talking about India and Bangladesh, the top 10 trade place, when we are talking about the 10 products exported from India to Bangladesh, that is raw cotton, fabrics, chemicals, machineries, and these are the very common items, and so do from Bangladesh. And I think this is the time, out of this top 10, we have to bring some of the items. We have to put our basket so that we have to bring some new items that what India may be sourcing from other countries. India may be sourcing from Europe, India may be sourcing from Africa or some other places. Maybe that is available in Bangladesh, you never know. And so do Bangladesh also maybe sourcing a lot of items from other international countries, but which can be readily available in India, and they are our closest neighbor. So that is how we can actually enhance our trade line. Now it is, I think, around 8 to 9 billion dollar or somewhere. Maybe we can enhance another $4 billion or $5 billion in next couple of years, and if we try to find a new market, new market. And when we are talking the postal agreement, I just give a little suggestion here. Actually, in the last meeting, I have suggested that in the postal cell, can we give the priority to Muktarpur and Pangao terminal, because they actually under. And I believe that if the vessel calls from India to Muktarpur and the Pangao, the connectivity from there to the sisters will be more closer and easy, and there will be less customs and bureaucratic hiccups will be there. And I think easily that can be transported from there. That's only my suggestion. And overall, I'm very enthusiastic about the network, road network, rail network, and river network of between Bangladesh and India. And we have the already our very popular already. Most of our cargoes are being transported via protocol road. Though we have a land border, Petrapol and Canapol, but Canapol they easy. But if we can, if we try to develop our protocol route, it is already in the proposal. I can see it, and I have a lot of information from the Indian High Commission and also Bangladesh Shipping Ministry that our protocol route has been already increased, and there are other protocols have been increased, and also there is a lot of dredging is going on, and there is a lot of impact. And the Bangladesh, the problem with the Bangladesh river, and I think there is water experts are there. They would tell much better than me, because most of our river are shifting bottom, so it needs continued dredging. It always shifts a bottle, and lot of siltation are there. So to keep at least 2.5 to 3.5 meters, we continue to the dredging, and I would request water development authorities, if they are attending, they should a lot of inland water transportation on a daily basis, and we have a lot of problems in the transport. In conclusion, I would say that I'm an optimist, and I believe in our future. We'll have a lot of opportunity business with India, Bangladesh, and especially we can use the highest revenue from our transit. And also we already started using Kolkata airport for our air freight, and also there has been a proposal for charter operation, which Dhaka airport, and we have a lot of questions at Dhaka airport, and it's always good that we can share the facility. Also, Kolkata needs support from Dhaka or Chattogram or Mongla. Of course, we are there to vice versa. So thank you very much for and then I would be happy if there is anyone have any question.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Please do stay connected with us. Obviously, we would like to come back to you and have the discussion. Since you talked about the air cargo connectivity and the aviation connect, it would be very apt we bring Madam Vandana Agarwal here from the Ministry of Civil Aviation to have her input, and then we would move to Shri Siva Salem sir, who's past Special Secretary Logistics, and he certainly would have a great advice for all of us here in this room. So, but before that, I would go to Madam Vandana Agarwal for her inputs. Ma'am, over to you, please.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to all my friends from India and from our neighboring countries. It's always a pleasure to talk or speak on the issues after all the experts have spoken. My job is extremely easy. But I would love to start by saying to our friends from Bangladesh that we fully share your optimism, Kabir Bhai, that we should be growing our trade by at least $3 to $4 billion is what you said. I would love to shrink that timeline to say that COVID is giving such a wonderful opportunity for cargo to come to its own. When I was hearing Dr. Dwivedi, he spoke a lot about passenger movement between through Udan. Nothing to say negative about that. That is entirely needed. But I think COVID has taught us that cargo and logistics needs to find its rightful place, not just in aviation, but also through the other channels of that we have. And Northeast is blessed completely with the inland water connectivity that I think is seldom seen in other parts of India. But I must confess that when I was studying 30 years ago, I used to hear practically the same refrain that Northeast has so much potential, not just because of its location, which is surrounded by our friendly South Asian countries, also with the Southeast Asian countries, and that India will certainly have a look east policy which will deliver its dividends. I think that we have used the intervening time to get the four most important things in place. The infrastructure is readily getting built up, and we're hearing from all our Northeast states, Assam, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, etc., as to what wonderful efforts they have been making to ensure that they can deliver to the expectations of the people of the Northeast region, and also the expectations of all the mainland people from the Northeast. I love your kiwis, I love your other fruits, I love the queen pineapple, and so on and so forth. And I'm always looking to how I can get them. So that apart, we have also tried to build these supply chains in the meantime so that we are able to bring the product from virtually the farm gate to the airport. A little more is needed on that, and for that, I would urge all our participants to work on OD pairs, origin destination pairs, in quantities that make it viable, and also impart sustainability and resilience to whatever initiatives we do. Let these not be one-offs, let these not be temporal. I understand the seasonality, but we need to be in advance of the season for fruit and vegetable, for instance. in readiness for it, so that we don't waste a single day. These are perishable products, so we have actually no time to waste. So we must have our end-to-end systems in place. And I'm happy to say that in an ACFI seminar, which or a webinar, ACFI has busted the myth that Indian logistics costs are among the highest in the world. It has always been thrust down our throat that we are operating at 14% of our GDP is the logistics cost, and their study shows that it's perhaps closer to 7 and 8% and not the 14%, and that this is based only on perhaps a smaller survey, and more detailed work is also being done. We ourselves are working with Commerce Ministry to do an actual time release study to check as to what is the actual reality. And I find that in some of our aviation chains, we are even working at 1% or 2% is the logistics cost. So this is heartening news. And while of course we would await the fuller details of the results, but at least the trend is compelling, and it should buttress so that we now bring to finality the actual engagement in transactions. That is what is the need of the hour. And I think ASSOCHAM, through its own studies, you have done one on spices and stuff, you are doing other studies. I think the focus should be in developing OD pairs with the quantities, with the seasonalities, so that when we put in air capacity, and we are committed to doing air capacity as well, speakers before me have already indicated the airports that are being developed. Just 2 days ago, we have placed freighters at the disposal of the Northeast. One of our airlines has specially for the Northeast converted 6 Q400s, which are capable of acting as spokes, connecting airports which are spokes to either Kolkata or to Bagdogra or to Guwahati or to any other part which is closer, and from there providing the hubbing operations that are necessary so that the produce of the Northeast can go to all parts of India and to the rest of the world in a time-bound manner. We would welcome the international UDAN operations to take place so that we can fill up the bellies completely with northeastern produce and carry it. We would also think that if Assam and other states can participate with Civil Aviation Ministry in working out the fuller details of the Krishi Udan scheme as well. As you know, on 10th of September, the government has approved the scheme, and it envisages a very holistic view of the Northeast. There is a focus on the Northeast as well as tribal districts in the hilly areas, our island states. So we would like to work with you. The APEX group meeting of secretaries has already taken place, in which Northeast Secretary Donor is a member. And also I chair the focus group on implementation, and there also Northeast Ministry, Donor Ministry is represented, and we will be reaching out to all the state governments so that we can go with concrete measures and concrete outcomes. The third issue is that we have to take up in a serious way the packaging and other requirements which are associated with air cargo, and also actually with whenever we look at multimodal shifting of cargo, necessarily because the farms are in not always close to an airport or fisheries or any other even non-agricultural produce. It's not always adjacent to an airport. We need the first mile, last mile connectivity, which means there is a second mode of transportation necessarily involved. So therefore, all our packaging should be such that it can withstand the transfers, and so that we can minimize the wastage and other and also ensure value realization in the truest sense for our farmers and fishermen of the Northeast. Maintaining the quality standards, maintaining the phytosanitary and other requirements requires a lot of skilling, a lot of training of the producer suppliers, so that we can work with them by ensuring that their produce is acceptable ab initio from the farm gate level itself. I heard Arunachal speak about adopting districts. I think that's a fabulous way to go forward. You will be able to harness to avoid the fragmented farm or the produce that's there. You will be able to give us volumes that are sufficient. They are economically viable volumes. This is absolutely excellent. Sikkim, I can say that I have had your fabulous organic produce plucked straight from your farms as well, and I've even had organic tea. I've had organic kiwis, and my mouth still slurps when I think about what I had eaten then. And I'm very jealous if you're only going to send it out for exports. We would like to be able to consume it ourselves. I'm ready to pay the price for it. So, unlike me, there would be many more. This is basically to say that the demand, both local, which is within India, and within our neighborhood and elsewhere, far and wide, is hugely there for Northeast products. So we don't have to really worry about that. I come now to the fifth part, which is actually the financing of it. So skilling, I've already spoken about. You know, I just say one more sentence about skill part. The HR potential of the Northeast is just humongous. The people are so wonderful, and they are more educated. They have a certain discipline in them. They are, we're just not harnessing that potential completely. If I think we can bring some specialized skills development to the region, on their own, they will work as entrepreneurs, they will work to build, to provide skilled services which are needed for both cargo and passenger logistics. So I think we will be able to work very closely with them. Now on the financing, I know that there is a natural disadvantage because of the hilly terrain and the fragmented nature of production systems. But we can always overcome those challenges through the many other advantages that you have, which is developing the USPs for your products, which are so easily compelling. You have the capability to be creative about how you come out with your produce, and that is what will overcome any financials or any other challenges that of viability that we may have. But having said that, central government is committed with viability gap funding for even the Krishi produce, and we will work with Ministry of Donor as well as with the others, including through broader resource pooling from the Agriculture Investment Fund, from the fisheries investment fund that have been created more recently, and through other means, so that we can bring to the Northeast, you know, the reality has to happen. We can put money where our mouth has been all these 30, 40 years, is the short point that I'm making. And we had made, for instance, with Bangladesh, a very important start in achieving the transshipment operations. Within a week or 2 weeks of discussions with Bangladesh, we were able to come out with a corridor, which is a land-air corridor from Dhaka to Benapole, Petropole, and then to Kolkata Airport. It was unique in that it has GPS-enabled bonded truck movement, which is straight on. I think I heard you very well to say that we need to bring in Dhaka Airport. Please tell us how we can bring air connectivity to Dhaka, or if Dhaka Airport is willing to work with us, we can see how as a region we can have more interconnectivity between ourselves, and we will take those initiatives forward. I know that we have been trying to work with you so that we can even go straight across from, say, Benapole towards Agartala, so that from there also the air connectivity can take off, now that we have enormous programs to develop that airport. I mean, I'm ready to discuss with you in Bangladesh as to how we can take it forward. In case Bhutan is here, we would love to be able to do the same with them and to see how we can work forward. I mean, in conclusion, I don't want to go on and on, but the COVID experience taught us that collaboration in a chain from one end to the other, where the weaker links are helped by the next link, which is a stronger link, is the answer. And therefore, we were able to do much better. I know that in air connectivity, or rather in air cargo operations, very swiftly we have moved to operating almost more than 65% of our pre-COVID levels. We have reached there. We hope that we will be able to do much better in the coming few months. If the indicators are right, are there, then we hope to be plus in the full year, taking all the 4 quarters. We hope to be cargo plus, air cargo plus. If I look at even the performance indicators, I can share that when the lockdown happened in April, on 25th of March, the April-May numbers for dwell time were horrendous. My heart shrank when I saw it was 133 hours on import side, when we had reached less than 39 hours in December 2019. So it was a huge shock to see where we had reached. But within 2 months, when the June numbers were revealed to us by IATA, we were back at 41 hours. So we made good. We made good. So that means that the infrastructure we have set up, that means the supply chains we have built, there is confidence that even in horribly distressing and restrictive COVID times, we are able to meet the performance as well as the quantitative requirements. We are able to swiftly rework our business models. We are able to have the necessary flexibilities in our policy making, in our regulatory thinking. We found that government could partner with business at each step and make the necessary moves that are required. So government was never a person, a natural person standing very far away, you can't reach me kind of approach. So I think the partnership, the collaboration worked very well. And for the Northeast, I would love to be able to work with all of you. And of course, with our friendly neighborhood as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You really put in the insights and what a way to sort of sum it up. Your thoughts in terms of encouraging the industry to come forward and get connected with the government for more and more partnerships. We have Mr. N. Sivaselam. He's past Special Secretary Logistics. He is the patron of our partner SCLA here. Sir, you have heard leadership from SCLA, you have heard our neighbors, you have heard various state governments sharing their inputs and their thoughts. Sir, you are an expert in the logistic, and we would really like to come to you to have your thoughts, and then Mr. Jaideep Raha will have discussion with the senior leadership of SCLA and other eminent guests who are here with us. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot for having me, and I'm very happy that our initiative to work with partners and partner businesses, ASSOCHAM and others, and our own groups with which we are working is paying dividends. First of all, let me tell you, our initiative in all this is not on the theoretical side. We are largely concerned with promoting businesses. Therefore, we take a particular situation or an economic reality into our calculations, and then we work on our strategies. On that, I think that's a new model which we are bringing so that our businesses are facilitated. And I'm very happy that Kabir, will you care to stay back? With these businesses, we hope to build partnerships, and that is how this institution of SCLA and with other mainstream business organizations like ASSOCHAM, PhD Chamber of Commerce, we are working with each one of them to promote the businesses in which they would be strong. In my address to you today, I'm largely going to concentrate on what are the doables and how to take things forward. What has been spoken, Dwivedi has spoken. There was also talk from Arunachal, the Pasighat connection. Kabir spoke a lot brilliantly, I must say. He hit upon a lot of partnership initiatives which are possible, and I think I will try to address some of them, and not to forget Vandana. I mean, I've been with her on the webinars right from the month I joined logistics, and every month there has been at least a webinar in which I have participated along with her. I will first address the last one, which is fresh in my memory. All the projects which are fine, but I would essentially address Vandana to work on the Agartala airport expansion. That's the key. Why I'm telling you? Because it will definitely involve Bangladesh. The airport expansion of Agartala would go into Bangladesh territory, and therefore an expansion of Bangladesh Agartala airport would necessarily mean an international cooperation with our very close neighbor Bangladesh. It was also important for Bangladesh because Bangladesh will get another airport. By just an expansion program, they will get another airport. And that is one which we should encourage because it will be useful for the eastern part of Bangladesh. It will remove congestion from Dhaka. Dhaka is a very a big international airport, but nothing wrong if Bangladesh gets the benefit of another airport by just a sheer expansion of Agartala. It will establish the cooperation once and for all to state, and it can also have Bangladesh flights, Bangladesh internal flights coming there. And there are many examples of internationally of the Swiss and the French and the Germans sharing an airport, although they belong to different countries, and people of different countries going through different exits, and that possibility is always there. And I would essentially request Vandana, as far as logistics is concerned, please concentrate on the Agartala airport. It's a low cost proposal, and it will make a huge impact, and it will be a trendsetter in this region because of the huge impact it will provide. I don't think that the whole cost, because when the land acquisition is to take place in Bangladesh, for the expansion of the Agartala airport, it is but natural and fair that we also share the benefits of that airport with Bangladesh. And the air cargo is one thing, but more than that, the levels of confidence which it will establish is something which I think which will be a trendsetter. I have also mentioned this with Sunil. Sunil is participating, Vandana is participating, Kabir is participating, and that's what I would look forward to with the cooperation of all of you. I think three of you can make it happen, and together with ASSOCHAM and SELA to provide the institutional backup, I think we are on our way forward on this very important project in my view. The second thing which I will take up is what Kabir mentioned. He talked about, I do not know how many of you, particularly my friends from the road sector, I'm able to see Ramesh, I know Abhishek is clued in. When he talked about Pangong, I think he's basically telling a point. He's making a point. He says that Pangong is very useful for movement on the roadside, and that's where I think our road and the Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce and Kabir is himself the president. I think he can facilitate. We should explore this opportunity, not over the long and near future, but in the short future. According to me, short future is anything between 6 to 9 months. We should make it happen. And Kabir really has a point there. I also would like to address Kabir and our road sector partners to state that India has got 4 protocol routes, which Bangladesh has facilitated. And we should make these protocol routes count, both for the Bangladesh logistics trade as well as for India's logistics. And that's a very important aspect which I would strongly advise it to be taken up by ASSOCHAM with Kabir and our ITWA road partners in partnership and working together. This is a thing which must be quickly done, and a business partnership must be established. I had a couple of points for Kabir, but he has just got up, and so I will come to that a little later. The third thing which I would address is to Dwivedi. I know we had a long discussions during the Assam Bangladesh partnership meet, which was convened by the government of Assam. I think my first request is that it should be a biannual event, maybe one held in Assam and one held in Bangladesh. Maybe ASSOCHAM and others can chip in and make it an event in the calendar. It's very important for businesses to meet. I mean, webinar apart, there is a great deal of things get done when people meet in business partnerships, and that's what got achieved in the Assam Bangladesh partnership meet, which I was very fortunate to attend. And I can tell you that I'm in contact with almost all the connections which I made at the meet, and the lot of things which have been taken forward. So Dwivedi, hats off to you, and I would request you to continue with this initiative and make it count. And for you, I have apart from this, I have a second agenda. You mentioned about the inland waterways. There's no point. I think Shukla is going to speak to me after this, and he will provide you a lot of technical details. But there's one thing which he is going to say, and that is the if you are going to talk from Kolkata right up to Dubri and beyond, or even Jogigopa and beyond, the determining draft is going to be 2 meters, I'm sorry, 2 feet for almost how much? For at least another 15 to 20 years. So I think the ecosystem, we need to tell the businesses that the ecosystem development needs to be with this draft. And there is no point in trying to say in these things that we are going to develop. We need to be very clear about the draft which is going to come. And the draft is not going to exceed the 2 feet draft for at least another 15 years. Because if you want to provide that length over the complete period, the businesses will have to be there, the businesses will put their pressure, and that's how the draft will increase. And then it may go up to 3.5, and then maybe 5, and then of course the rest is to a very distant future as far as logistics are concerned. So I would strongly suggest that you need to be talking about the definitive draft which a person can plan for the next 15 to 20 years. And 15 to 20 years is very good for organizing a business based on barges. There's nothing wrong. You don't need to be, it's not like a huge 200-meter ship where you need to, where you will have a 40, 60-year horizon. These barges, 15 to 20 years is good business, and we need to tell them that this is the minimum draft. To the best of my knowledge, IWAI, and I'm sure Shukla will clarify it after me, is not expected to provide more than 2 meters on a continuous basis. It is possible that in a particular stretch your draft may be more, but that's more. After all, you don't cross the river by measuring the average depth or the minimum depth. You do it by the maximum depth. So similarly, shipping would be governed by the minimum depth rather than the maximum depth you are going to have at a place. This is the key element, and I would strongly request. It's not the amount of money which the state government needs to provide. I would strongly advise Dwivedi, and I would request ASSOCHAM and PhD Chamber of Commerce and my own colleagues in SLA to take it up with the with Dwivedi. He is a huge facilitator and a very proactive person, and along with the very proactive administration in Assam, which is existing today, to organize private or joint development. That's the way to go. It's not the requirement that the state government should even put in one pie, but the state government needs to facilitate locations. It needs to provide the enabling environment. The enabling environment may be an aspect of land acquisition in the vicinity, which can also be built into the project. That's not what we are going to be what we are crowing about. But you need to be providing that facilitative environment, and please create businesses for at least 7 ports, and that's what is my request, has been my request to you at the seminar, and even much later, that please create that environment. The businesses are ready. The businesses are ready to participate, and that businesses will have to be on a combined tender of both the providing for the minimum number of barges as well as the development of the jetty. It cannot be that the jetty is developed by one fellow and the barge is developed by the other fellow. Both will enjoy either rent-seeking behavior, or both will not come at all. So certain amount of combination at the first stage is required. After the business matures, maybe in about 20 years, we can talk of separating the two. But as of now, we need to have it. In the same light, I would request Kabir to concentrate and develop the business of Bangladesh barges. Bangladesh barges is important because in the protocol arrangement, there is a facilitation for Bangladesh barges. They will be given the same treatment as that of Indian barges, and they should be, and this is an occasion for to promote the Bangladesh inland water industry, which I think, in a manner, to the best of my knowledge, I have no personal knowledge of talking to those people, but my own people, my own colleagues in SCLA tell me that the Bangladesh barge industry is a little more advanced than the Indian barge industry, and I'm very happy about it. So there is something which we can help build further, and that's where I would say that's where the ANZ involvement is particularly useful. The financing is required, the investments is required. There are people in India who can make investments. There are people in Bangladesh as well who can make investments. There are people in third parties, friendly countries who are willing to make investments. And I'm pretty certain that you will work, that all the 5 institutions will work together to enhance, to promote this as an agenda, both in Bangladesh and in Assam. And for this, ASSOCHAM needs to support the Assam government with what I would call an RFP tender documents. You can make a series or more than one model of tender documents, which the states can decide. They may use one for one session, and they may use another for another session, based on the situational aspects which we have technically analyzed for them. That support can also be provided to our counterparts in Bangladesh for their decision making. But there should not be the key element in this is to go beyond what I would call protocols. Now the SOP is in place, and we need to put things in action. And things in action in business takes place when there is an RFP. And without an RFP, we would not be moving forward at all. Even next year, we would be talking that everything, we need to do this, we need to do this. But I think that the time is over. The time for telling that we need to do this and that is over. The governments have acted. It's for the business to do its part. And business is good at doing what business environment is created. And that's what we need to ask for. And that I would essentially request the institutions to help develop an alternative RFPs based on the various concepts which either the Assam government is suggesting or the Bangladesh businesses and the Bangladesh government is suggesting. Businesses neutral will be neutral to the RFP which is promoted, which is suggested. But the RFP must be known upfront, and it must make business sense. And that's all what is I would suggest is the minimum requirement from the business point of view as far as the RFP is concerned. Now that Kabir is back, I wanted to also request him, and he mentioned that he is also the head of the Bangladesh Freight Forwarders Association. I think a lot of our friends from the Indian Freight Forwarders Association are in this webinar, and they are. Let me tell you, Kabir, you must have also known them. Joydeep himself spoke, and you know him personally. And this is a wonderful business community in India, and I think. They are good to partner. And I would strongly advise Kabir and his colleagues to create business partnerships with Indian freight forwarders, not only in India, but also for third party in third countries. It will be a great thing, not just for Bangladesh freight forwarders people, but also for Indian freight forwarders to partner with Bangladesh and move forward. With the new Mekong initiative coming, this will make great sense, even in the very distant future in logistics of 1 year. it can make, and I would strongly request you to, and I appeal to my own colleagues, both in FFAI and AMTOI, and also Jaideep, who works with them, as also with Akai on the Air Freight Association, to please forge these partnerships. You don't need to crowd around. We can always form, even if Indian freight forwarders are there, you can always, 3 or 4 can always form a group in India and then partner with a group in Bangladesh. Similarly, a group in Bangladesh consisting of 2, 3 or 4 can partner with a freight forwarder in India, or many freight forwarders in India, and those business models are formed. You can form your own way, but take it forward. And this is in the interest of both, because I can only tell you that I have heard from Bangladesh that they find difficulty in organizing freight forwarding businesses in India. I have heard from my Indian freight forwarders that they find it difficult to establish in Bangladesh. And I think the time has come for us to not to speak about it, but to do something about it. As sitting in government, I used to hear both of them telling, but here I find in the meeting both of them are there, and I would appeal to you to address it. This cannot be addressed by the government. Partnerships cannot be created by governments. It has to be created by businesses. And if partnerships don't get created by businesses, I'm sorry, government's SOPs will remain a piece of paper, and we will not be able to take it forward. And I strongly appeal to you. And from my side, I would only say, I know a lot of Bangladesh freight forwarders. They're excellent people to work with. And I know my own colleagues in the Indian freight forwarders, and they are wonderful people. They can make things happen in India, as they had during the COVID times, and much beyond, and handling a variety of things. And certainly a group which deserves our attention and international recognition on partnerships. I think these were the 4 points which I wanted to state, and I think I would be happy, because I can't give you a laundry list of agenda. I think there will be many more occasions when I would suggest that these meetings of 1 hour, 2 hour meetings can be organized, maybe a quarter from now, and then we could see on how we have proceeded on this agenda, and then move on to a new one. And I therefore appeal to all my colleagues in various associations who are who are participating in this, and attending in their representative capacity and in individual capacity, because business promotion of individual businesses also is one of the key objectives of SALA, working with each one of you and each one of your partner institution. And I thank you all for giving me this opportunity to make this intervention. And I'm hopeful that that the institutions will be able to structure these agendas and then take it forward, because over the next quarter, so that we are in a position to see businesses flourish, not only on the Northeast India trade, but also among the business communities who you can make an impact. That's all for me. Thanks a lot, and thanks for your very, very patient hearing.
Thank you so much. I would like to invite Mr. Raha here. Mr. Raha, request you to take it.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Shivasailanji. That was a very hard-hitting, very to the point, to the core, and it was a very deep insight you have spoken. And your ideas are always well taken. And I know how passionate you are. You tell me that I am passionate, but I don't think I can even match 1/10 of your passion that you have for logistics. With that, I would now request Mr. Shashi Bhushan Shukla, member, Traffic and Logistics, IWAI, to come in and give his presentation, share his thoughts and inputs, please. Mr. Shashi Bhushan Shukla, please.
Thank you, Mr. Kaha, and thanks to SOCHAM and SCLA for giving me the opportunity to share my views on the development in the logistics sector, especially keeping in view the Northeast. And I have made few slides, a presentation which has been shared with the organizers in case it can be shared. So I will start with it.
Manesh, would you please share the slides for Mr. Shukla?
Sure, sir.
Okay, so before me, many distinguished speakers have spoke about inland waterways also. Salam sir has mentioned what Waterways Authority is expected to do. And Mr. Dwivedi has also mentioned about inland waterways and many other speakers, including you. So Inland Waterways Authority is doing several activities for connecting northeast and eastern part. Can we go to the next presentation? Next slide, please. So as you all know, Northeast is currently connected through that Siliguri corridor, which Mr. Raha has mentioned, with the mainland part of India. And it is bordering several neighboring countries, five neighboring countries, through which we have land border connectivity, and we also have inland waterways connectivity, and other modes are also being developed, including railways. Inland waterways, as we all know, is an environment-friendly mode of transportation. It saves energy also, and there is lot of congestion on the land borders which we can address. So we can become an alternate mode where we can provide environment-friendly mode of transportation, including with logistic efficiency and reduced cost. There is a cost advantage also with inland waterways as far as water connectivity is concerned. There are several studies in which these figures have come, which we are sharing, that inland waterways is approximately 1 rupee per ton per kilometer, whereas the rail and road are much more costlier. To reduce the first mile and last mile connectivity, we are also working on the land side, terminal side, and the road connectivity, which will further reduce the cost when we are going for the end-to-end connectivity. Next slide, please. Northeast, as we know, is placed with many waterways. Out of 111 national waterways, which have been declared as national waterway in 2006, 23 have been identified as a potential waterways where we can have the connectivity and we can start the traffic. There are 23 national waterways in Northeast itself. And out of these 23 waterways, Brahmaputra, which is a major main waterway system, and there are many other waterways, small national waterways, which are connecting to Brahmaputra. So we have already picked up Barak, Brahmaputra, Kopili River, Subhansri and Dhansri, which we are going to have some interventions, and also Gumti River in Tripura. There is, like we have many borders, land borders through which we have connectivity with Bhutan and Bangladesh and Myanmar. Our waterways are also flowing to Bangladesh and Myanmar, through which we can have a. Currently, we are having around 73 million ton traffic, and it is increasing day by day. We have 19% CAGR growth in last 5 years, and we are expecting to reach around 130 to 140 million ton in next 5 to 6 years. Next, please. So inland waterway, as Silsalan sir has said, is engaged into the fairway development, which is basically providing the channel. So we are providing the channel throughout the national waterway, which have been taken for the development, including Ganga, Brahmaputra, and Krishna River, Godavari, Kerala waterway system. So that includes basically providing the requisite LED, which is 2.2 meter, basically what is going to be the target throughout all these waterways. But we are also working towards achieving 2.5 in the short-term period. And there are certain portions where the 3-meter waterway is naturally available, and those portions will be developed for 3 meter. Along with the fairway where we provide the LED, we are also placing navigational aids, voice systems, river information system, and we are coming out with the portals which will provide dynamic information relating to LED, which is one of the critical parameter for the voice planning. And then terminal development. We have also got vessels designed from Germany, which are suitable for the shallow rivers and alluvial river like ours. And these vessel designs are available on our website. We are also going for a lesser draft vessels design further for the floaters also will be designed. However, these designs are going to be placed on the website. Ultimately, procurement is to be done by the private sector. Next, please. In the next slide, I am showing how the waterways is going to connect the eastern and northern part of India and the neighboring country. So NW1, which is Ganga Bhagirathi water system, it is being developed under the World Bank grant. This square can we remove this square which is coming on this slide? Okay, this I can speak. So from the map, if we can see, the development from Varanasi to Haldia is happening. It is around 1400 kilometers. We have developed multimodal terminals at Varanasi and Sahibganj, which can carry around 2 to 3 million ton cargo. Haldia multimodal terminal is in the advanced stage of its development. It will be inaugurated very soon in 3-4 months. It has got delayed because of COVID, but we'll be able to do it by the beginning of next year. And we are also developing the waterway system, that is fairway. And this is here we have come out with the concept of assured LED contract. So in the assured LED contract, the contractor is to provide a 3-meter LED up to Sahibganj from Haldia and a place called Bad, and he'll be paid only when 3-meter LED is available. So this is a guaranteed availability of LED. And accordingly, the barges can ply from 1500 to 2000 tons. From Sahibganj onwards up to Varanasi, we are targeting 2-meter LED, and there a barge of approximately 1000 to 1500 ton ply. All these terminals are going to be operated by a private player. So the private player is to market the terminal and is also to get the barges. There are now the terminal operators and who have also invested into barges. As Salam sir has said, that operator and barge owners should come together, or if there is a single entity doing both the things, that will be wonderful. So nowadays we are seeing this trend that the operators are also investing into the barges. Likewise, when from Haldia we go to Bangladesh, which is a protocol route system, we have 50 kilometers of protocol route. As Mr. Kabir has mentioned, that protocol route is being extended. New ports of call are have been declared. 20th May we have signed this year a new addendum in which we have increased the protocol, and in which we have also included Roopnarayan River as a part of protocol route. We have included Gunti, which is connecting Tripura as a part of protocol route. Recently, we did one trial run, which has been successfully done with a shallow draft barge, and we have also extended this Ganga River, which is falling to Bangladesh and is called Padma River. From here, if you see where the color is changing to Bangladesh, place called Bhulian, and it connects to Aricha. And from Aricha, the barges can straight away go to Pandu, or to Bangladesh, or to our Brahmaputra River can go up to Dibrugarh. And this is going to reduce approximately 400 to 500 kilometers of waterway voyage. Likewise, the connectivity to Silchar has also been established through Barak River and Kushiara River in Bangladesh. The Brahmaputra River, which is called Jamuna in Bangladesh, and the Kushiara River in Bangladesh are being dredged to provide 2.5 meter draft throughout the year. And below that, downstream of these two, Sirajganj and Asuganj, we have a natural draft which is available almost throughout the year for 3 meters because it's a tidal zone. So if we see the whole map from Varanasi to Dibrugarh, we will be able to achieve 2.5 meter LED. Likewise, from Varanasi to Barak River and Silchar, we'll have the 2.5 meter LED. And the connectivity established to Sonamugara. And wherever the LED is less, and probably we need to transit from bigger barges to smaller barges, the protocol route allows transshipment at any place on the protocol route from bigger barge to smaller barge. So that facility is also there inbuilt in the agreement. So that can be utilized wherever the LED availability is a challenge. In this map, we can also see that the route has been established from Haldia to Chittagong or Kolkata to Chittagong through sea route. So we have signed an MOU, one trial run has been done in which through sea route the transit cargo has gone to Chittagong, from there it has been taken to Agartala. So that has also been done. There are certain issues we are discussing with Bangladesh to reduce the cost further, and we'll keep on convincing the industry and the governments that the cost of taking further in a transshipment should be reduced. As Mr. Kabir has mentioned that Mukhtarpur and Pangaon can be two ideal terminals for the transshipment of cargo to Northeast. We have taken up this issue with the government of Bangladesh. The Bangladesh industry is also very keen that Mukhtarpur and Pangaon should also be declared as a transshipment hub for the river ports, because both of them are port of call under the Indo-Bangladesh protocol. So once they are declared, they have the container handling facility, and we can use them for transshipment. Recently, we have done first container transportation. It's on the way, in which we have loaded the container from our GR jetty in Kolkata, and it's going to Mukhtarpur. From Mukhtarpur, so it's in Bangladesh will do this container on the river port first time. We had done from Haldia dock complex, which has gone to Guwahati before, and because the container currently what we are handling on IBP is around 3.5 million ton of cargo, which is fly ash, mostly fly ash, which is a bulk cargo. But we'll have to slowly move. If we want other commodities also to come on protocol route, we'll have to slowly move from bulk to break bulk to containers also. So the ecosystem is being built in, where the container handling facility will be available to our terminals also, like GR Jetty, Kolkata, and also at Sahibganj and Haldia. And similarly, the container handling terminals like Mukhtarpur and Pangaon should allow the transshipment as well as the EXIM cargo. Can we go to next, please? In this slide, we are giving the details regarding what the facilities we are having in Brahmaputra. So on Brahmaputra, we have two terminals, permanent terminals, one at Dhubri, which is the border of Bangladesh, and the other one is in Pandu, which is in the heart of Guwahati city. And then we have many floating terminals, which are being used for local transportation and which are also being used for the transportation river cruises. In Badarpur, we have, in Barak River, we have Karimganj and Badarpur two terminals. Sonamura, we already established one floating jetty, and we have a plan to establish a permanent jetty also. Recently, the government has sanctioned 600 crore rupees only for the development of Brahmaputra and protocol route. Apart from the 5,000 crore rupees which is being spent for the development of Ganga River. And there is a 300 crore rupees which has been already sanctioned for the dredging of rivers in Bangladesh. So with this, we will be able to make at least this eastern grid of waterways operational for almost throughout the year. That is the strategy, and that is the vision Inland Waterways Authority is working upon. Next, please. So this is a further detail where we have the temporary terminals, where we have a permanent terminals, and the new terminal is coming up in Jogigopa, which I think here is in the next slide, where we will discuss the further details. Next, please. Mr. Dwivedi has also mentioned. So this I have already mentioned that all the terminals will be given to private players. So this is as Shiv Salam sir has also mentioned, that we'll have to involve slowly the private players to improve the efficiency and also to market the inland waterways. So we are placing all these 8 terminals which are mentioned here for the bidding. 3 are already in the tendering stage, 2 are going to be tendered very soon, and the remaining will also follow. So we'll request private sector also to see and study the opportunity which is coming up, and this will not be only catering the cargo of India and Bangladesh. we are also establishing connectivity of Bhutan and Nepal through inland waterways. Last year, we did few trial runs for Bhutan aggregates. We have also allowed loading at Jogigopa, at Dhubri. There are the two terminals from where the Bhutan can get connected, and the stone aggregates which have lot of demand in Bangladesh can be loaded at Jogigopa. We have also allowed small barges which are available in abundance in Bangladesh, which can carry 150 to 300 tons of cargo. Earlier, these small barges were not allowed. Now they are allowed on Dhubri, from Dhubri, and they generally come to Dhubri, take stone chips, and bring it to Chilmari. From there, it can be distributed to Chilmari, just across the border in Dhubri. So small barges are also now being allowed. They are being registered under the Bangladeshi Act, and they are being allowed by the government of India. This decision was taken in December 2019, and from then after we have already seen many shipments which has happened. Because of COVID, these barges are not operating right now because the Bhutan border is not open. Otherwise, we see a lot of opportunity. Likewise, in Nepal also, the transshipment is possible from our Sahibganj terminal. From there is a terminal going to be built near Patna, which is Kalughat, and also from Varanasi. So from there is a connectivity through road, and our transit cargo can go to Birganj or Viratnagar, whichever is nearer. And through Bangladesh also they will get connected to through waterway system. Likewise, Bhutan and Bangladesh, they have an agreement for use of waterway, and we are using that. Next, please. Next, please. This is regarding the infrastructure, which I think Jogigopa just a bit one before the earlier one. So IWI is also developing a terminal in Jogigopa, and this Jogigopa terminal will be integrated with the overall development of multimodal logistic hub, which is being developed by MORTS, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and Government of Assam. Mr. Dwivedi has also mentioned about it, and that terminal will be multimodal. So IWI will have its own jetty, which will be connected through the logistic hub, and the same consultant is preparing the DPR for both. So this is Jogigopa has the potential of becoming a logistic hub, because it is also going to be connected with the around 600 acres of land, which is being given by Government of Assam for the industrial development. Next, please. And Jogigopa is already a port of call in Indo-Bangladesh Treaty, and we are working for declaring it as a port of call for Indo-Bhutan Treaty also. This I have already mentioned that we have taken up a voyage for Gumti, and how the Agartala and Sonamura two land border stations can get connected to inland waterways. So for Agartala, we have already an agreement that the cargo can be transited at Ashuganj, and it can be loaded on trucks and trailers. It's just 53 kilometers from Akhara border, and it can come. So that is already inbuilt in the agreement. And also the transshipment can happen on barges from Downkhandi to Sonamura, which has recently been done successfully. And this is the picture of the first trial run. Next, please. This is further detail that we have done coal transportation and with cement industry in Guwahati. They import coal, and currently that is going from Haldia through Siliguri and to Silchar or to Meghalaya. That can be taken through the inland waterway. We did a few pilot runs, and there is a commercial advantage. Next, please. And this is, we have discussed, I think Madam Vandana Agarwal has also discussed that there is a lot of opportunity in northeastern state for transportation of agro product and for horticulture, which can come as a return voyage, and for onward voyage we have already commodities which are going to northeastern region. We have got one study recently in which there is a 50 million ton of cargo which is getting generated in the northeastern catchment area, and which is being transported through Siliguri corridor either by rail or port. And a part of it approximately 10 million ton is the target, which can be shifted to inland waterways once the dredging in Bangladesh is done successfully. Next, please. So this is how we can get the commodities in return. So onward, we already have coal, petrochemicals, fuel, lubricants, iron and steel items which can go to northeastern states, and in return we can get tea, bamboo, agricultural item, cement also, and some of the fertilizer from Brahmaputra Valley fertilizers. So there is a logistic efficiency available. So the cargo is available both ways. The only thing is once we can move to containerized barges, then probably both sides we will be able to get, because there will be mix and match available. Next, please. So these are few pictures which we have done the recent movements. And next. Yes, so we are doing a lot of ODC movement. This is a picture of Brahmaputra River. Next, please. And this is where now I will request the industry to use waterways and take the advantages. Wherever we find any problem, we have a system. We are very open and we are putting a lot of information on our website. We are also creating portals to provide dynamic information, and sometimes we are also progressing towards the real-time information related to river condition, and also the assets availability, the cargo handling availability. So the request is now that we should try to use the waterways, the ecosystem which is required to be built in which private entrepreneurs are required to invest into it. Opportunity is available, people are shifting, but the shift is slow. Can we think of making it much more faster, so that we are also encouraged and motivated to do in a much better way. Whatever is the problem we find in the procedural issues relating to customs or to immigration or to security related, we resolve them. We talk to all the stakeholders and resolve all the issues with them. And because it's a new sector, new commodities are moving, there may be certain issues initially, but we will keep on doing it. Like full container load was not available till now on Indo-Bangladesh protocol route. We are talking to government of Bangladesh. They have also showed quite positive thought, and we'll be able to resolve all those issues which are happening. So thank you very much for listening me. I hope it has not been very long. Thank you so much. I'll be open in case there is any problem later.
Thank you, Mr. Shukla. That was a very good presentation, and lots of things have been cleared. Here we know what this whole protocol route is all about. It was a very good deep insight into the whole thing. And we definitely thank you from SCLA, particularly, that for being here, and also from ASSOCHAM for being a part of our today's webinar and giving us such a wonderful presentation on inland waterways. Thank you, Mr. Shukla. We will get back to you once again. I would request you to, stay back, because there will be a second session where possibly your valuable inputs and thoughts would be very much be needed to share with the others panelists. I would now request to call in Ms. Aparajita Banerjee, board member of ANZ IBC India, to share her presentations and her thoughts and her inputs on this webinar. Please, Aparajita, please come.
Thank you, Mr. Raha. I hope I'm audible by the audience.
Oh, yes, you are.
Thank you. So good afternoon, dignitaries, panelists, and guests of honor here today. Thank you, SCL and ASSOCHAM, for this initiative and having Australia, New Zealand, India Business Chamber, also known as ANZIB, on board for this unique webinar on the Northeast India. Now, ANZIB works closely with business communities, trade organizations, diplomatic missions, and governments for creating, promoting, and facilitating international business exchanges, particularly with India, Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore. We We have a major focus on promoting the Indo-Australian trade with a distinct advantage of large bilateral network and are differentiated by a competency in business matching. The role of businesses and various chambers is paramount in enhancing the bilateral ties between Australia and India, and therefore webinars such as these are crucial to update our networks in Australia, Singapore, and New Zealand who observe this space on a regular basis. First, I would like to draw your attention to recent developments in the Indo-Australian bilateral trade that will set the stage for a productive engagement between Australia and the Northeast. Number one, an Australian Consulate General has been established in Kolkata, with Northeast being a focus region along with the eastern part of India. Number two, in response to the India Economic Strategy to 2035, which is commissioned by the Australian government, its report on their foreign policy and economic trade with India, the Australia-India Food Partnership will open up new opportunities for agricultural trade. Number three, a number of fruits are now being exported to Australia, particularly mangoes and grapes, and both governments have recently agreed to export Indian pomegranates to Australia. And four, India is the third largest exporter of tea to Australia, and there is a potential to export tea and its diversified products to the region. There is a need to promote branding based on geographic origin among Australians, such as Assam tea, Darjeeling tea, Nilgiri tea, as branded names are of utmost importance to Australia. And finally, as the government recently announced private participation in the coal sector, I'm sure that these will be presenting opportunities for Australian coal miners to look at investment opportunities in the Northeast. Now, moving on to the second part of my speech, I would like to brief you on where and how Australian expertise could benefit the Northeastern development and growth trajectory moving into the future. First, Australia is well equipped to be a player in service exports that include contracting or end-to-end project development with a focus on three areas of competitive advantage. A, technology services in water management. So such as optimizing water use through integrated water management systems, technology planning, and desalination. B, end-to-end waste management systems with a focus on solid, liquid, and industrial waste with an opportunity to partner with the government. WMS expertise also includes solid waste recycling, waste to energy techniques, and managing landfill to nuclear waste. C, technology and services in transport systems. So with the focus on intelligent transport systems such as traffic signaling, noise and environmental monitoring systems, automated check-in solutions, ramp metering, and managed motorways. Secondly, Australia is also well equipped to serve the logistics and supply chain industry in a bid to improve transportation of natural resources in the Northeast, with a focus on providing specialized expertise and regulatory models in niche areas of design and construction, port logistics, maintenance efficiency services in heavy haul rail, multimodal freight logistics, road safety, and design engineering. Australia also has a large pool of investable capital dedicated to public-private partnership models. Aussie companies such as Macquarie, Kimmick, and Linfox have previously worked in India on infrastructure and logistics projects. That could set an example to other Australian companies looking to invest in the northeast part of India. And finally, in addressing the demand to improve agriculture, Australia can offer agricultural science expertise to improve the northeastern food security by increasing productivity, sustainability, and food system resilience. I think that's something of utmost concern as far as COVID and waste is concerned. Focus areas in agri-tech would include new farming technologies such as hydroponics, precision agriculture, and expertise in modular refrigeration, enhancing cold chain storage capabilities for affordable, consistent supply of perishable products. In conclusion, I know this was brief, but keeping the time limit in mind, These are some sectors where Australia could support the Northeast in achieving its development objectives. And I'm sure that opportunities exist beyond what has already been discussed here. For example, in training, healthcare, sports, promotional, and other sectors, such as METS, mining, equipment, and technology. And the dialogue will continue to morph with additional inputs from various stakeholders in the near future. For your patience.
Thank you, Apurva. It was very good presentation you made, very crisp, short, and to the point, and exactly what you have very precisely mentioned, and highlighted the points that what NZ IBC can bring in onto the table for the Northeast, and that we are very focused on the Northeast. We are thankful to NZ IBC for being a part of our webinar today. We are really grateful from SCLA and from ASCHAM that that you have participated as one of our partners into it, and we hope that we would going to have many more such partnership in future to promote primarily business out of Northeast and the Eastern India and the rest of India, of course. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would request now to go in for our second session, and I have some of the iconic figures from our industry, from the trade, and some of the most dynamic personnel and the finest professionals from our logistic trade. And they come, I mean, they absolutely do not require any introduction, to be very honest. I mean, I don't know how I would like to, give them an introduction, but yes, the protocol demands that we, introduce them. My first panelist on this thing is a very dear old friend of mine, Mr. KG Thomas. He is the CEO of Oscar Freight. And Oscar Freight happens to be one of the pioneers in India for bonded trucking. And they have been doing exceedingly well in the western region and the northern and the southern region. And they are presently, looking at an opportunities to serve this region, and it will be definitely a big support to this particular region where bonded trucking. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I address Mr. Thomas as KG, so I would like to keep that as a KG. It's very, very easy for me to say that he will definitely deliberate on this when I will throw my questions to him. But then it's with this overnight distance, as I was mentioning in my earlier presentation, that distance between Shillong and Guwahati is a couple of hours distance by road, and there are many such distance are there in various points in the northeastern region and eastern region, and where the air traffic really does not much make sense apart from building up a hub and spoke system. Now, like when I talk about the hub and spoke system, the Blue Dart is one of a very live example of this hub and spoke system, which my association goes long back with Blue Dart, and I have actually seen them how they have turned the whole thing. And to be very honest, they have actually proved to the world that when I came into this aviation industry and this air cargo industry, I was been told by one of the instructor from the Air India that the cargo is in other words is called wealth from the West. So it's basically during the post World Wars we had more excesses of this fighter aircrafts and the thing which were converted into cargo planes later on to deliver primarily medicine urgent medicines and the posts. And from there, the concept of air cargo came in. With that, I would now would also like to request Captain Ike Khanna from Blue Dart. He is the senior vice president, aviations and the operations for Blue Dart, and he is also an a pilot by himself, and he has several hours of flying hours to his under his belt. So welcome, Captain Khanna, on this, and I would now will go to introduce you to another very distinguished panelist, Mr. and my good friend, Mr. Keku Gazdar. I don't see him on the screen. Keku, if you may show up, please. That will be very nice of you. I have not seen you for many days now because I've not been attending your webinars. So,
good afternoon, Jaydeep.
Good afternoon, Keku. Nice to see you and welcome to this webinar. And I would like to share with all of you. I know Keku will later on take a spike on me, but okay, I will take that. Yesterday, he told me that he cannot join this, and I said I don't care because, like, I called him up yesterday to tell him that he is supposed to join in. I know sometimes he is mostly busy with his business. So I said, I hope I'm not bothering you. And instead of bothering him, I called up his secretary. Then he promptly called me back. I said, no, I didn't want to bother you. But he says, you can never bother me. If you can, anybody can bother you. If you can bother me, you will be the first person to have created that record. So with that, he calls me later on that he cannot join because he was been working till 3 o'clock and he would go back to sleep and 3 a.m. in the morning today, and it will be very difficult if he doesn't catch up with at least 6 hours of sleep. But yes, I cannot, not, how can I not keep his request? My good friend, and Keku does not require any introduction to many of us in our industry. But yes, again, as I said, the protocol demands that he's the CEO of iClass. iClass is handling the cargo side of it, the entire cargo, and under his he has a large number of airports, and all the cargo terminals are under his leadership and captainship. So that's Keku for you, and a terminal operator here is another area that this makes this team big and a complete one with airlines people also been there. And I would also now like to call another good friend of mine, Rajesh Singh from SpiceJet. He's the cargo head, and Rajesh also, as usual, like Keku, does not require any instruction because, and I've seen Rajesh how he has been working in this COVID period and how he supported the Krishi Uran initiative of Ministry of Civil Aviation and the Lifeline Uran, and how he has been relentlessly working to support and to keep the logistic industry wheels moving. So, Rajesh, I would like to call you to be on the screen now with us. So, Manesh, have I missed out anybody, or is there anybody else that I need to call in the panel? I can't see it on my screen, the names. So, if you may please help me out on that.
Sir, I think you have covered everyone.
I think very good. I have covered everyone. Good. So once again, welcome, gentlemen, onto this webinar today. So you know what our discussion is: the Northeast business opportunity, industry anticipation, and incline and logistic applicability. Now, this is a big, big subject. That's very lined up in a big subject. But I know with these experts with me and here, and with Mr. Shukla, we've also been there. I'm sure Mr. Shukla is there, Mr. Divedi is there. So I feel that it would be best that I start with Keku first to, to throw his ideas that he has, the plans that he has for Northeast, what he has done so far, and his achievements. And I can vouch for his achievement, at least in Calcutta, that I am a witness to it and privy to his achievements. Nobody knows better than me. Just a short, very short. I know I would not like to take much of a time, but then I would like to tell you there is something called CAFAC meeting we have. Primarily, whenever there is a 2016, I would go there and primarily to, vent my anger on things are not happening on the cargo front or on the terminal front. Post 2016, after this gentleman joined in, I don't go there because I have nothing much to discuss or to fight with the airport authority or the ICAS people. So that's how his achievements are. Now going back to this, Keiko, I would like to call you, and if you could throw your inputs and your thoughts and share your thoughts, please.
Thank you, Jaideep. I hope I'm clear.
Absolutely.
Lovely. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, SCLA, ASSOCHAM, and respected dignitaries. So happy to hear Mr. Sivasalam after, I think now 4 or 5 months. And always a pleasure to hear his views, his dynamism, his encouragement to get things forward. So before I move forward, I would just like to update Sivasalam sir on the question he had posed with regards to Agartala. Agartala is now currently, we are constructing a domestic terminal there in Agartala. It's about 1100 square meter terminal. It's a domestic terminal with a handling capacity of close to 40,000 metric tons per annum. And we are already doing close to 5,000 tons. And I'm very, very pleased to start by saying that the terminal is already in progress. And the expected date of completion of this terminal in Agartala, sir, is June 2021. And you can hold my neck to that if we don't succeed in that. So that was just for Mr. Sivasalam's understanding and how that would help us connect with Bangladesh. Now, the definition of NER in my calendar or my atlas covers 9 airports. These are Guwahati, Agartala, Imphal, Lilabari, Dibrugarh, Silchar, Dimapur, Jorhat, and Tezpur. And if I take this together and I add 2 more airports because they are connected to the northeast region, one is Bagdogra and one is Kolkata, of course. We are looking at a total area of over 52,300 square meters of terminal capacity at these 11 airports. Again, it's 52,383. Of course, majority of that is Calcutta, which is about 43,000 square feet. And the rest would be close to about 9,000, square meters, and the rest would be about 9,000 square meters. Again, as Jaideep wanted data from me, so I will rattle off some numbers and then we can take it further. If I look at the handling capacity that we have in metric tons, we currently have a capacity of over 323,000 metric tons in the Northeast 9 airports, of which in Guwahati alone we have over 135,000 square meters of handling capacity. Tons of handling capacity. Now, last year in 2019-20, We already handled close to 24,000 metric tons of cargo in Guwahati, and we made significant achievements there, if I may say so. Together with my good friend Rajesh, we started the Guwahati Hong Kong route, and then we also had for some time the Guwahati Dhaka route on the Q400s that they operated. Uh, Needless to say, uh, the Northeast is extremely important for my organization and more importantly for the country as a whole. Uh, Apart from this, we already have cold storages in Guwahati, and we have a proposal already for Agartala, Dibrugarh, and Silchar to have additional cold storages. So probably the first question that would come on many of your minds is, why not the other airports? Well, the short answer is that what we see in majority of the airports in the Northeast is that cargo arrives within 90 minutes of departure. So technically, we really don't need a cold store facility at this moment with the tonnages that we are handling. However, as we move forward, this would be very important for us to look into every time additional capacities are done, and or if there are requirements from the FPOs, the trading bodies, the farmers, etc., to have these facilities be available. Couple of quick points on how and why this is a major development program for us. I'll give you a few examples. Now, let me start with another airport called Aizawl, Lengpui. Small airport run by the state government, and we probably the first time we operated a freighter into an airport where we did not even have a passenger cargo be uplifted. And in quick succession, again with Spice and Rajesh, we were able to handle freighters directly from, I think it was Calcutta into Aizawl. And now I hear that it is now become a regular feature in Aizawl to move the Q400 freighters that SpiceJet is loading cargo and bringing it to Aizawl. We also are making arrangements for return cargo to be uplifted from Aizawl to Guwahati, Calcutta, and probably to the rest of India. Uh, at this moment, normally 6 days a week, I take a VC with the entire trade. And I know two of my favorite colleagues who are supposed to be on that VC are now sitting on this VC. So Jaydeep and Rajesh is being missed on the other VC that is currently going on. And this is a 30-minute to a 40-minute VC that on behalf of the Ministry of Civil Aviation, I host this along with my colleagues. And I do remember extending an invitation to everybody in the trade. And probably be a good idea if Jaydeep through SCLA can involve the rest of the trade to join this VC every day at 2:30, 6 days a week, to bring forward or put forward whatever challenges that they are facing in terms of air connectivity, starting from first mile and ending in the last mile, together with any issues being faced in terms of the airport processes, customs where applicable, etc. One other new development that has taken place, and again, a big congratulations to the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and I always say this with a lot of pride. The government is moving far faster than the private sector today as far as initiating and coordinating businesses. Let me share a few examples with you. I had asked for the assistance of the ministry given the current COVID situation, to let us handle cargo from the passenger terminals. Um, I can tell you in a couple of weeks or even less than that, this proposal was accepted, and we are now back to handling cargo from passenger terminals so that as the time is taken for us to construct other terminals, the situation for the acceptance of farm cargo is not delayed. I can also tell you that various processes in terms of even dwell times today have reduced enormously, even in the Northeast, and that's an extremely encouraging sign. We now seeing cargo even coming to the airports within 90 minutes and are being uplifted on those flights, taking into account all security precautions for the movement of cargo. Uh, we are looking very closely at establishing, as I mentioned earlier, a few more cold storages. We're looking at to the capacity requirements for it. I can also share with you that not only from the country, but we are also getting now investment proposals from overseas. I can share that even from Japan, of investment into our coal terminals or cold chain terminals, and that is a very welcome sign because it proves to me, it proves to the rest of the country that the world is looking at our processes, they are looking at our terminals, and if they really want to invest in what we are doing, I think it's a small sign of appreciation. Uh, so I have a couple of asks, and normally it's not right of me being a panelist to have asks, but Jaydeep will know what I'm talking about. So I have a couple of asks, and one of the asks that I first have, which I already mentioned, Jaydeep, is to get more and more people connected onto the Krishi Udan, VC that we have. In case there are issues, this is not just for talk, but we had, for example, issues of movement of cargo from Guwahati, checkbox. We had issues of moving of flowers during the lockdown, checkbox. Issue of connectivity with capacities in the Northeast, checkbox. So if there is nothing that is coming out from the region, I take it that there are no issues on the air cargo front. But if there are issues, I don't want them to be pushed under the table or under the carpet. I want them to be brought forward. I want them to be addressed. I want them to be actioned. Whether it can be done in a day, week, month, or more, well, that time will tell. But it's important that we hear everybody in the chain. As Madam Agarwal had put out in her presentation, the Krishi Udan is now being accepted by the ministry, and there is a huge, for the lack of better word, pressure for us now to make sure that this initiative is well received by everybody. Remember, at the end of the day, this is for the farmer. This is for the farming community. This is for the people who matter the most. And we will fail, and I repeat, we will fail as an industry, we will fail as logistics service providers, we will fail as an entire eco chain if we are not going to support these kind of initiatives. Um, to conclude, and I'll be happy to take questions at a later time or as Jaydeep would like. Um, Talk to us and tell us what more can we do for you. Again, I don't have a better way or better phase of saying it. We will not know the pain points that you are going through unless that is explained to us in relevant details. And if that can come to me along with solutions, I will have more hair on my head can retain. So with these few words, thank you, Jaydeep. I hope I've been able to put across what you wanted me to talk about, and very happy to be part of your SCLA initiative. May your tribe increase and may you grow from strength to strength. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kego. It was indeed, I have no words. You are always been a perfectionist. If I know anybody as a perfectionist in the trade, it's you. I know how you and anybody can't beat your passion for work and for this industry that you are doing. Thank you very much, Keiko. I will just get back to you, but before that, I would like to go back to Captain Khanna. Captain Khanna, the Blue Dart has been there, and they have been the first aviation company which specialized in the all air cargo only. And when we talk about aircrafts, and there have been a time when people thought that, oh, aircraft, can they carry a 20-ton shipment? No way. So Blue Dart has changed, and that the domestic freighter service can operate within India. The thought that the freighters can only operate transatlantic or trans-Pacific or trans-Europe or trans-US, and so on and so forth. But then the Blue Dart has shown the way and paved the way. So with that, I would now request Captain Khanna to come in and share his thoughts and views. Captain, your views and thoughts, please.
Thanks, Jaideep, for the introduction. Very good afternoon to all the panelists, distinguished panelists, and the participants. And thanks to SHM and SCLA for allowing us to participate in this important webinar. For me, being a professional, basically a pilot, I'm here to take away the lessons from this webinar, perhaps more than I can contribute. But Northeastern region has always been an important part of India. I would like to start by quoting our Honorable Prime Minister, and I quote, he said, India will be successful when UP, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam, and other parts of Northeast India are strengthened. India cannot develop till the eastern part of the country develops. Now, coming from the PM, I think that's a huge statement. My exposure to Northeast, I've lived in Imphal for 3 years during my tenure in the Air Force. Many of you would have met our managing director, Ms. Tulsi Mirchandani. She comes from Shillong. And my last interaction was this year when we were able to travel on 17th of January, when we had MSME Export Promotion Council seminar in Guwahati. So I had gone there to attend that, and that was, there were people from as far as Ghana and Nigeria, and of course from neighboring countries, Myanmar, who were participating in that seminar. So the few things that come out when we talk about Northeastern region is something that has been expressed today by various panelists. This is the difficulty as far as the terrain is concerned, the infrastructure that needs to be built and is being built, and the speed with which the cargo that you're talking about, that is agriculture, horticulture, floriculture, the speed with which these need to be moved, and the solution obviously is air transportation. So another thing that came out during that visit to, there was a trade fair also involved during that MSME Export Promotion Council seminar. And when I got an opportunity to meet various vendors who had put up their stalls there, a thing that stood out to me that there is a need to have aggregators. So all of them were operating in their individual space, and they did not just know how to collate their wares, they did not know how to move it. So perhaps what we need is a cooperative movement in the Northeast at a very large scale, at a scale perhaps of the kind of milk cooperative movement that we have seen in Gujarat or the Green Revolution. So this is something that stood out to me personally, and I thought it'd be worth mentioning here. As far as Blue Dot is concerned, I can only talk about the capacity that is available. All over Pan India, we have a capacity of and this capacity is available during daytime of more than 500 tons of capacity Pan India, specifically in Calcutta and serving the Northeast. We have a capacity of 60 odd tons to serve the Northeastern region. But coming back to the airports that we have in the Northeast, the two airports that we at the moment we can operate to are obviously Guwahati and Imphal. Guwahati is something that we have been operating to for a long time. We carry out RBA charters, but we have not really been successful in carrying the agri products or other products from the Northeast region. So perhaps there is a need to develop hubs. So Guwahati as a hub comes naturally to the mind, and of course Imphal is another region. So Mr. Keku, I think he has left. Yesterday I was attending a seminar. Mr. Keku, you're there? Yesterday I was attending a seminar on the PhD Chambers of Commerce, and Vandana Madam had mentioned that she has given a task of carrying or making sure that they're able to arrange at least 10 million tons of cargo at various airports. So I'm going to request him to try and see that he can do that at one of the northeastern airports, whichever it may be. Like I said earlier, the obvious choice appears to be Guwahati. Vandana Madam had also mentioned about viable gap funding. This is also appears to be a need of the hour. Obviously, as operators, we don't look at it as a door. It's just needed to kickstart and till we are able to reach what we call in pilot jargon self-sustaining RPM. Once we reach that level, I think thereafter we will not be required. But for the moment, I think it's needed to kickstart the process. An important take from this comes out what Mr. Shivaselam had mentioned, the need to act. Yes, so I couldn't agree with him more that, yes, there will be a lot of talks, but it's time to act. And I could also see what Mr. Keku said, that the action is already in hand. So with that, I just will end what I have to say by quoting Dalai Lama, who said, once in a year, go someplace you've never been before. I think Northeast region is the one where we all need to go and get our act together in that place. If you have any questions for the airline is concerned, thank you, Jaideep.
Thank you so much, Captain Khanna. That was a very crisp, short, and well spoken, to the point, and you covered most of the points that what Blue Dot can offer and what has been doing. And you have also touched on upon the government initiative. That's very much well noted. And now I would like to request Mr. KG Thomas, our next panelist, Mr. KG Thomas, CEO of Oscar Freight, to talk about how RFS, the road feeder service, as we call it in full form, the bonded road feeder service, which would play a very crucial role in first mile and the last mile connectivity with the airlines partners, cargo airline partners. With that, they will play a very crucial role in last mile and first mile connectivity, and what it can contribute to the your industry, to the as such, is enormous, because it not only saves, it saves on the time, and also it saves on the cost. Now, cost is very important. We all talk about, logistic cost, This is where somewhere, the logistic cost can come down. Now, with that, I will not like to take much time, and I would request Mr. KG Thomas to come on and speak a few words and share his thoughts, please. Mr. Thomas. Yes, Mr. Thomas, we can see you on the screen. Mr. Thomas. We can see you on the screen and your mic is on. You may speak, please. Can you hear us? I think, Manesh, if you can help Mr. Thomas with the connectivity of his audio, that will be helpful.
I'll just call him up, sir.
Yeah, please.
Till the time we can just move on to our next speaker, so that
I would, in that
session could
case,
continue.
yeah, till this Thomas is get connected with audio, I would now like to call Mr. Rajesh Singh to speak. And as you know, in cricket, it is said that the tail enders plays a very crucial role in finishing off an innings and fetch a win. So Rajesh is somebody who is an expert in that. I did not say much about it, but yes, Rajesh can really say.
Hello.
Yes, yes, Mr. Thomas, we can hear you. Okay, Rajesh, you may begin.
Okay.
We will come back to Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Dediji, and Socham, and as well as the respected dignitaries. So, SpiceJet basically has taken the best opportunity of this COVID situation, as Madam Vandana has said, and this was a period when Madam Ji and Mr. Keiko, we all were thinking about this Krishi Udan, because this lockdown time, air connectivity was very much important when everything was halted, and this was the mode of transport where ultimately the fresh vegetables, fruits, and other vaccines and other pharma products were transported. So that is how we have this group, our Krishi Udan, and every 60 days a week we attend to that, and we try to find out the solutions and how best we can try to help our farmers and also increase our exports, which help our GDP growth also. So when we started SpiceJet, as my friend Mr. Kiko has said, we had started from Guwahati to Hong Kong. So Northeast is very close to my heart, and as soon as we started this freighter, we worked hard, because Guwahati airport, everybody said it's not possible, it will be difficult, and but Kikuji and our entire team, immediately we started the international operations from there, and we did a success, story from Guwahati airport, having a freighter, operations. Today now we have total almost 14 aircrafts, freighter aircrafts. So as far the connectivity air transportation is concerned, we have fantastic now, and also we have Air India, then Blue Dart, and all. So air connectivity for Northeast, we have tremendous potential. We have deployed our Q400 in especially for Northeast, whereby we operate Aizawl, Silchar, Guwahati, Agartala, and then Dimapur. So we have invested in converting our Bombardier Q400 aircrafts, so that these freighters in the northeast, smaller cities, it can connect, and also to hub and spoke from metro, and plus we do the export transshipment from all the northeast airports. So this is where, because we require the connectivity, which we have given now the best of our aircrafts, the transportation. And also we almost touched now 44 international destinations, with this our fleets within a short span of this COVID time, which is quite a learning time, for us. And out of that, around we operated 7,000 flights, in which 3,000 flights were international. Huge from Calcutta, then also to Bangkok, Calcutta, Bangkok, Dhaka, and Hong Kong. So these are the sectors what we look. Also for Dhaka, also we have been operating transshipment also from Dhaka. So we have been going, like northeast, bring the cargo here and to transport to different various destinations in India. And what basically when we started Guwahati and all, what I have observed personally, because I have been to the met the farmers also, because the forwarder who was there, as well as the cold temperature control, you can say he was the exporter, So when I met the farmers, because what I felt, we have to strengthen our farmers with the proper educate them as far the quality of the vegetables, fruits are concerned, because this exports, we have to maintain the quality. Now this quality, our plant quarantine people can educate our farmers what product has to be grown, what should be the quality, and so that when we export, the product is appreciated and as well as accepted by the over there. So very important is to educate our farmers, give them the best seeds, which is required to compete with the international market. And also then we have to entrepreneurship in the people in the northeast, so that they become entrepreneur and they start exporting the northeast products, which is having a huge potential. As investors, the second is the investors. The investors, we have to bring the investors also, which is very crucial, because now Guwahati and Agartala, then Imphal, these airports are growing up. So we have to get the investors who can, because cargo, we require now major investments for the terminals and airports, runway modifications and other things, development. So investment is very key, we have to bring in. And as far the airlines are concerned, we are always there for the Northeast, and our support is there. And as Madam Vandana ji has said, viability gap funding, yes, that we will require initial just to kickstart and till the market we develop, because initially airlines cost is quite high. So I would request if we can get from the donors fund or something, which will help us out, for exports, So these are the areas, where there is a potential, huge potential is there, connectivity is there, and if I think we all can come together and boost these exports, because as Jaideep ji also said, there is no congestion, at this airport, like Delhi, Bombay, and all these airports is very, very much congested. Dwell time is more, and northeast airports dwell time is less, and delivery is done very fast. So these are the key factors which will also help for getting the customers over there. And with this, I would say we are ready. And we have aircrafts. And only thing is now we have to build the supply chain, first mile, last mile. Also, we have to just develop that. And any part of the country we can transfer the goods, or any part of the world we can do the exports. And with this, I thank you, Jaideep ji and SLA SCLA and the SHM. Any questions, we'll be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh ji. Thank you very much. I would now like to call Mr. KG Thomas. Mr. Thomas, please tell us. I know you are the last speaker now, and you have been patient enough. Thank you very much for being so patient, for bearing with us, and it has been dragged on because we had, this subject is so big. It can't be summed up in, few hours time. I mean, given a choice, I would like to continue from morning till evening, till I go to bed. So with that, please highlight what RFS can offer, can add value, and how it can add value, and what it can do to enhance the first mile and last mile connectivity. Over to you, Mr. Thomas.
Mr. Rahad, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, and am I visible also? Mr. Rahad, first let me salute you for your very, very passionate appeal that you made to the authorities to help you develop the region. I cannot match your passion. And then I congratulate you on that. And it's a privilege to be with the fellow panelists. For the first time, I'm meeting up with Mr. Khanna and Mr. Rajesh. Good to see you, gentlemen. And Mr. Rahal, your question is essentially in what way can bonded trucking contribute to bringing this benefit to the region, to the shipper, to the forwarder, to the custodian and the airline operating in this region. In other words, the question put to Oscar Freaks is how can we contribute? You made one observation that this particular addresses basically to the trade in the northeastern region where they are not familiar with very familiar with the concept of bonded trucking. So let me just say what is bonded trucking. Bonded trucking is a service, is a trucking service approved by the customs authorities of India to provide connectivity between one custom commissionerate to another customs commissionerate. When it comes to, and as you very correctly asked, what is the contribution to the first leg and the last leg? We accept cargo at airport, at any customs commissionerate, be it an airport, be it AFS, be it a CFS or an ICD. When it comes to export cargo, we perform the first leg of the journey to take the cargo from the customs commissionerate where the cargo has been customs cleared, where the shipper has filed the shipping bill. And from there, it is transported in bond to the gateway airport for uplift out of India. Now, it is known as bonded trucking because during that duration of the journey, Oscar Freight functions as a custodian in transit. As a custodian in transit, we are expected to bond to Indian customs the full commercial value of the invoice, the drawback value, and duty if applicable in the with reference to export cargo. On the reverse, when it comes to import cargo, that is, the cargo would land at any of the gateway airports, and from there it is moved in our services to the customs depot which is most convenient for the customer to customs store and take delivery. One of the biggest benefits that we bring is to the shipper, because the shipper can file for the drawback incentive processing at the same customs commission rate where he filed the shipping bill for departure clearance of his car. That is what we will do. We contribute to the consignee and the consigner. When it comes to the forwarder, who plays one of the most vital role in RFS services, because it is the freight forwarder who has to educate and familiarize the exporter with what are the benefits of the product. We connect every cargo that is moved in our service is, as I said, bond, executed in bond for the full commercial value. Further, the cargo that moves via it is further secured by insurance cover for the entire duration of the journey with us. Third, we have the airline liability as required by IATA stipulation for the per kilo IATA liability today is $28 per kilo. So what is most important for the consignee and the consigner and the forwarder is to realize their cargo is safe with on the trucking service provider in the custody of Oscar Freight. But what is most important is that we load at one point of departure. The cargo is loaded into our truck and sealed with a one-time seal, which can be opened only at the gateway airport from where it is going to be uplifted. Likewise, when it is import cargo, the cargo is loaded into Oscar Freight vehicles in the presence of the customs authorities, and they will seal the truck with a one-time lock, and this truck will come to the customs that were most convenient to the importer. The trade that the shipper, the consignee, the forwarder, the airline, the custodian. To each and every one of them, we are a support service. We will not compete with any one of them. For while customs gives us a permission to operate the services, our customers are the shipper and the freight forwarder. So we are adding to the convenience of the exporter, very specifically to the context of the drawback incentive processing. And when it comes to the forwarder, we are giving it the facility of providing a value-added service to the shipper. We can tell the shipper, we can advise the shipper that the cargo will be lifted up from this commission rate and will go to any of the gateway airports which is best suited for it by way of space availability concerned with concerned airline, as well as for freight arrangements between the shipper and the airline itself. Now, when it comes to the terminal operator or the cargo custodian, in reference to the cargo custodian, we contribute to the restaffing of this facility. We bring in cargo from inland ICD CFSs and AFSs for uplift to the gateway airport, and for cargo that lands into a gateway airport, we will destuff it and take it to the customs commissionerate where the consignee will ultimately take it. And another thing we must realize is, as a service provider, we are now looking at the northeastern region, which to all reports is a good area. From the various reports that have come in, on which I read, I realized it is tremendous potential for our services, because we can connect each and every airport with ICD or a CFS or an AFS. Now, in the immediate future, we are looking at an association with our associates to start our RFS services, to set it in motion. We are looking at Itna Nagar in Arunachal Pradesh, Guwahati in Assam, Shillong, actually, Shillong in Meghalaya, Imphal in Manipur, and Agartala in Tirupur. These are the airports that we have, or the regions that we have identified for providing our services. In this context, I would like to just refer to one or two, a few of the speakers who spoke during the course of our visit. One of them was a speaker from Sikkim. He made a very human appeal that our region is unique. Can you provide a service unique to us, which can meet our requirements? Oscar Freight's operation team will put their head together whether we can provide a service facility within the parameters as permitted by customs authorities. Another very interesting comment was from Madam Vandana, who made a remark that CV19 has been the eye opener when it comes to cargo. We have found our level thanks to CV19. Equally important was a comment from Mr. Shiva Silent, as also Madam Vandana remarked on the trans-border movements. As it stands today, our services, border crossing services, are allowed to operate within the geographical limits of India. But Mr. Rafa, you yourself made a very important comment when you said the tremendous scope for pharmaceutical products in your region. That was a very, very important statement, because my thought went back to the time many, many years ago when we opened up Ahmedabad. I'm talking about maybe 16, 17, 18 years ago. Oscar Freight came into Ahmedabad offering the RFS facility between Ahmedabad and Bombay, or Ahmedabad and Gateway, whichever was the forwarders and the shippers best suited airport.
Mr. Thomas, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm sorry to, cut you short here, but we are running absolutely short of time because we are, getting our slot on this thing that has been booked. That is almost over. And I wish if I had some more time to give you, and it's a lovely listening to you, and it's a really a learning experience about RFS and what Oscar Freight can do, and how this can help. We know it will add immense value when you come into this part of the country and serve the industry We are sure looking forward to you being a participant in this in the real sense, and come forward to help the industry to garner both ways. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost through. I would now request Anamika Sinha to come in and chair our chairperson SCLA, Anamika Sinha, to come and to speak a few words and give her the vote of thanks. Please, Anamika, please come in.
Thank you, Mr. Jaideep. Thank you, everyone. I've been hearing everyone's input. They have been very directional and working. In fact, we've all the team has made notes here to get back to you, discuss, and see how the working of the SLA taking the agenda of Northeast at the moment, to start with, for having good investment from the private sector, having seen the business opportunities, and how the logistics industry can come hand in hand to make it really achievable. It is not going to be instant. It is taking time, but thanks, Mr. Keku. You've been, I heard it that you have taken out special time on everyday basis for about 40 minutes or so. We'll be pleased to support you on that as well. And do let us know how we could, as SCLA, align with the agenda for the aviation. And thanks a lot for Ms. Vanna Agarwal's so heartfelt participation and sharing of all her the main points regarding the interest for the Northeast business. Since much has already been shared and very thoughtful. How can we all assemble these thoughts and make it more comprising and have a way forward design? So in my concluding remarks, I would just say that SCLA is going to brainstorm, think again, get back to you all, take your more inputs. Have the next step would be to have an internal CEO meet or stakeholders meet, which is going to be more constructive because of everyone's, like we will listen to everyone's initiatives and all how those initiatives can be compiled together and made a very structured overall plan, taken to the government, look for the support and government's interest. Added to it, it will be a great success, I'm sure about it. So from my side, thank you again, everyone, for your participation, support, and everyone being there to support through to the end. We crossed 3.5 hours plus, and yet the support stands very firm. Thank you again. Thank you, Mr. Jaideep. It was very wonderful for you to let us all know about the Northeast as a gamut of opportunities coming up for the whole of India to connect. Can you? I thank again, and but Parminder, can we there? I take it to you. We can close it out here.
Yes, sure, ma'am. We can close it up.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I think, yeah, we're not able to hear. Thank you, Rajeshji. We will get in touch with you. Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Thank you. Of course, we would get in touch. I repeat that we will be able to take more inputs with you hand in hand, and we'll take the things forward. Would be pleased to be a part of all the efforts that we've heard from you. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We close for the webinar again. Let's close for it. Manish, we can close it out, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone, once again.
See you. Yeah. Thank you.